The game begins with a goddess-level sister. In the bathroom of a luxury hotel, Fu Erdai ran into his high school classmate Song Ziyun. The scene was extremely bloody and terrifying. Yo. I wonder who it is. It turns out to be our Longteng University 2021 school idol Fu Erdai. I haven't seen you for many years. You have finally found your way to the bathroom. If I were you, I would just hit my head against the tofu and die. It's embarrassing to be here. I haven't seen him for many years. I really don't know how this guy still remembers me, and he recognized me at the most embarrassed moment at a glance. Fu Erdai was also very puzzled. Are you very depressed? Why am I here? And I recognized you, Mr. Toilet, at a glance. I'm sorry to embarrass you. Fu Erdai smiled bitterly. He probably understood why Song Ziyun suddenly appeared. There must be a conspiracy. Are you very depressed? Why am I here? And I recognized you, Mr. Toilet, at a glance. I'm sorry to embarrass you. Fu Erdai smiled bitterly. He probably understood why Song Ziyun suddenly appeared. There must be a conspiracy. How dare I laugh at you? You were the school hunk who charmed thousands of girls in school. Do you remember? My girlfriend Jinjin was snatched away by you in public, which made me lose face and became a joke in the school overnight. Since then, I have worked hard and achieved the success of today's executive. Song Ziyun complained with a snort. I was young and ignorant back then. I apologize to you now. Fu Erdai just wanted to live a stable life. He didn't want to offend anyone, and he didn't dare to offend anyone. Now he can only sincerely apologize for the mistakes he made that day. Apology. Can it be eaten as food? Can it be slept with as a woman? Let me tell you, I spent a lot of effort to find you, a piece of trash. If I don't cripple you today, I won't be called Song Ziyun. Since you are a toilet cleaner, I will kill you in this toilet. Puh, fu. Song Ziyun began to spit and destroy in the toilet. Suddenly, Fu Erdai was frightened. This was the toilet of a high-end luxury hotel. Each toilet was managed by a special person and had to be kept clean at all times. If someone complained and the higher-ups knew that his toilet was dirty, he would definitely be in trouble. Out of professional instinct, Fu Erdai did not dare to offend the hotel guests. He could only silently bear the pressure from work, picked up the mop, and cleaned up their garbage deliberately created by Song Ziyun. Hey! Are you very skilled at cleaning garbage? You have been doing this for many years, right? It's pitiful. I just want to make a living, please, can you give me a way to live? Fu Erdai really had no choice. It was hard to find a job these days. He almost knelt down to get this job of sweeping toilets. If he lost this job again, he would have to sleep on the street and wait for death. Why should I give you a way to live? What can I do if I want to kill you? Bite me. Come on. Bite me like a dog. Fu Erdai didn't dare to do that, so he could only be pitiful. Trash, you wouldn't dare to do that even if I gave you a gourd to make you brave. I know your manager, he can fire you at any time and let you go out to starve. By the way, if it weren't for your manager, I really wouldn't have found you, a trash dog hiding in the toilet. Trash will hide, too cheap. After hearing this, didn't Fu Erdai understand? He was sold out by someone. Workers' information is confidential, and this manager obviously took the bribe. Look at you, you're a good-looking man. Are you dissatisfied? I like to see you being dissatisfied but unable to get rid of me. SHHHHH. Song Ziyun saw that there was no one in the toilet, so he started to urinate everywhere, making the whole toilet smell like urine, and it also spilled on Fu Erdai's feet. Wow. Sorry. Thank you for your foot. But seeing that you are so pitiful, I will be merciful and give you a way to live. Now, right now. Kneel down on my urine and kowtow to me 3 times, and I will consider letting you, a piece of trash, continue to stay in the garbage dump comfortably. Fu Erdai. The knees began to bend slowly. Sign in system binding. Name, Fu Erdai. Age, 23. Gender, male. Occupation, toilet cleaner. System binding is successful. Does their host want to sign in for the first time? Sign in. Ding. Sign in successfully. Reward, fairy sister for 1 day. Fuck. Is this the beginning of a life counterattack? But what is this fairy sister reward? A goddess descending to earth. Give me a baby? Take me to heaven. Fu Erdai's head was a little confused. Waldong. Song Ziyun's forehead was blasted. Fuck. Who dares to hit my head? Song Ziyun was about to complain, but turned around and saw a beautiful woman with colorful glow floating in the sky. This sudden shocking scene frightened Song Ziyun so much that he dared not breathe. How dare he scream? The beautiful woman had charming eyebrows and eyes, moist red lips, hair like 3,000 waterfalls, a thin waist like a snake, and retro clothes, which made her look more elegant. She was definitely a goddess. Fairy, is the fairy descending to the earth? I heard Song Ziyun spit out the words, fairy descending to the earth, in surprise. Fu Erdai suddenly woke up and remembered that the reward for his first sign-in was the fairy sister. You are humble mortal, dare to bully my destined person? The fairy asked in a cold voice. How dare I? Song Ziyun was confused. Bullying the destined person of the fairy. Even if I have the guts, I don't have the chance to get lucky. Fairy. Don't they all live in heaven? The destined person, tell me, has he bullied you? Song Ziyun's heart almost jumped to his throat when he heard the question from the fairy sister. The destined person of the fairy sister can't be a toilet sweeper, right? But here, besides himself, there is only Fu Erdai, who sweeps the toilet. Fu Erdai, no, immortal Fu, you are cultivating immortality. Why didn't you say it earlier? If you had said it earlier, I wouldn't dare to say it in front of you. No wonder you like to play in the toilet. It's really extraordinary for extraordinary people to do extraordinary things. Old classmate, I admire you, really admire you. Song Ziyun wanted to commit suicide, but he didn't expect Fu Erdai to be playing the pig and eating the tiger on purpose, playing him. This time, he might really play him to death. Immortal. Something that only appears in legends has offended him severely. With a thump, Fu Erdai didn't kneel down to him, but it was Song Ziyun who knelt down to Fu Erdai first. Old classmate Fu Erdai. I was just joking with you before, don't take it seriously, don't take it seriously. Oh, with this reaction speed and expression, Fu Erdai wants to give this guy an Oscar Lifetime Achievement Award. My destiny. Tell me how you want to deal with this lowly mortal who looks down on others. Turn him into a beast. Or turn him into your pet and lick you every day. Sister Fairy looked at Fu Erdai gently, seeking his opinion. Is it okay to change into anything? Fu Erdai tried to ask. Of course. I'm a fairy, there's nothing I can't change into. Sister Fairy gave Fu Erdai an affirmative smile. Hearing the conversation between Fu Erdai and Sister Fairy, Song Ziyun felt cold all over in the hot summer, as if he had entered an ice cellar. Please, Master Fu, let me go, this stupid dog. I didn't mean to provoke you. It was your friends from school who invited me to a class reunion to humiliate you. It's none of my business. If you don't believe me, you can go to room 308 now. They are all there. As long as you let me go, I can do anything, just don't turn me into a beast. It was obvious that he was crying. While begging for mercy, Song Ziyun didn't forget to kowtow to Fu Erdai desperately. He didn't care even if his face was pressed against the dirty floor of the toilet. He was really scared. With the support of a god, what kind of cheating method is this? No one can beat him. If I had known this would happen, why did I do it in the first place? But I am a handsome man with a good heart. Hearing Fu Erdai say this, it seems that he has forgiven himself. Song Ziyun felt that his life could be saved, and he was happy. Since he doesn't like to be turned into a beast, just turn him into a mop, just to mop the urine he spilled on the ground. Chapter 2, Fulfillment. No. With a startled scream, Song Ziyun had already turned into a mop in Fu Erdai's hands. Fairy sister, do you think I'm being a little too cruel? Fu Erdai asked cautiously. No, a cultivator's path is paved with the bones of many, what you're doing is just child's play, the fairy sister said dismissively of turning Song Ziyun into a mop. Well, then let's make it even more cruel. Turn this mop into something human-like, so that when someone uses it to clean the toilet, it feels alive, it can even talk. How about that? Fu Erdai grinned. As you wish. With a flick of her finger, the mop's head immediately spoke in Song Ziyun's voice. Clearly, Song Ziyun's head had become the mop's head. Fu Erdai, let me go, I swear I'll never do it again. I'm willing to be your dog, to lick your feet every day. Before Song Ziyun could finish, Fu Erdai shoved the mop head into the toilet urinal, forcing him to drink a bowl of child's urine soup. A few minutes later, Fu Erdai picked up the mop head. "Well, old classmate, how does their child's urine soup taste?" "Oh, oh, oh." If he could, Song Ziyun probably would ve vomited his stomach out. But now, as a mop, he could only dry heave. "Fu Erdai, please let me go. I beg you, I'll do anything you want. I have plenty of money, all for you. And my wife." Hearing Song Ziyun beg pitifully, Fu Erdai couldn't help but think, "This is so satisfying. Fairy sister, I've had enough fun. Let us leave this mop with consciousness, erase its voice, and let it stay here to drag toilets for the rest of its life." "No problem. On the way to room 308. Fairy sister, how about we go and watch a good show? Anything you want. I know you've suffered a lot over the years, so I came down to help you show off and slap some faces." You knew all that? Then why didn't you come earlier to help me?" Fu Erdai didn't even bother to comment. All that was in the past, and what mattered now was to enjoy himself. "Fairy sister. Why can't the people passing by in the hotel see you? I'm a fairy. It's not easy for mortals to see me. Would I want to blind their mortal eyes?" she replied. "Right, but then what about what you said earlier about being my destined person?" That's a long story. Do you remember when you were very little? About 1 year old. Your dad was holding you by the river, using a telescope to look up at the sky. He happened to see me, and I noticed you too. From then on, we had feelings for each other. Didn't you call me to come to you?" Yes. It must have been my deep longing for you that moved the heavens, and that's why you were sent to save me. I love you so much. I'm so grateful to have seen you among the vast starry sky. What the hell? Can it get any more far-fetched than this? 1 year old. I can't even remember anything from when I was 1, let alone have romantic feelings. Fu Erdai couldn't help but admire himself. "I can't believe I made this up. And the fairy sister actually believes it." She was so moved that her eyes almost teared up. Fu Erdai knew it was the system pulling the strings, but he didn't want to explain any further. He just wanted to say one thing. The system is amazing. When they arrived at room 308, Fu Erdai nervously opened the door and stepped inside. The 7 people inside all stared at Fu Erdai like he was some kind of monster. This is. Clearly, these people didn't remember Fu Erdai. "Shouldn't he be one of our classmates, right?" "Definitely not. Look at us now, with our status, why would we have a classmate like this beggar?" These people didn't recognize Fu Erdai, but Fu Erdai recognized every single one of them. They were all his old classmates from high school who used to follow him around like a bunch of sycophants. 147, 258, 369 code names. I remember now. You're Fu Erdai, right? 147 said, suddenly realizing. Wow. 147, you still remember me. Fu Erdai was touched. At least someone remembered him. But don't get the wrong idea, and don't bring up any relationship. I'm now the assistant to the CEO of a big company. 147 dragged out their CEO part, but whispered assistant so quietly that almost no one could hear. The typical way of showing off. I'm a member of the upper class now. How could someone like you, a beggar, ever be on my level? I remember you because of Song Ziyun. That guy said you're working as a janitor here, so he brought us here to humiliate you. I didn't expect you to actually show up. Whether he paid you to be a clown or whatever, since you're here, you better act like a well-behaved dog. If you entertain us, we might toss you a bone. From their tone, all the old classmate camaraderie had disappeared. In their eyes, Fu Erdai's only value now was as a monkey to entertain them. The hell with this. Come on, bark for us. Woof woof, and I'll throw you a lobster. You've probably never eaten anything this fancy while cleaning toilets. After saying that, this classmate actually threw a piece of lobster meat on the ground, waiting for Fu Erdai to crawl over and lick it up. Maybe he's allergic to seafood and can't eat lobster. 258 sneered, looking at Fu Erdai, but that's okay, as long as you behave like a dog, I'll reward you with this big abalone. 258 stood up, waiting for Fu Erdai to crawl over. Ghost. Ghost. Suddenly, the fairy sister, who had been hovering behind Fu Erdai, revealed her true form, scaring these arrogant classmates into fleeing to the corners of the room. The atmosphere in the room immediately turned cold and tense. What ghost? Have you ever seen such a beautiful ghost? I'm obviously a fairy, all right. You're all blind. If you hadn't offended my destined one, I'd have let you entertain him. But now, I'll kill you all instead, the fairy sister scolded. Yes. Yes, fairy. We were blind, please spare us. These classmates immediately knelt and bowed in fear. Well then, my destined one, how do you want to deal with these people? The fairy sister lazily looked at Fu Erdai, her gaze soft and affectionate. What? Fu Erdai is the fairy sister's destined one? They had just mocked him so mercilessly earlier, this guy didn't even say a word. Was he playing us? Oh no, we're going to get played to death. With a loud thud, all of them scrambled over, bowing to Fu Erdai as if he were their parents. Fu Erdai, great immortal. We're so sorry. We were rude, please spare us. We can be your loyal dogs, we won't complain. Fu Erdai suddenly realized that all these old classmates were excellent actors, and he suspected they might actually be hired to perform in front of him. Want to be a dog? Fine. I'll grant your wish and turn all of you into dogs. As soon as Fu Erdai finished speaking, the fairy sister waved her hand, and all of them were transformed into dogs. Chapter 3, You're more worthless than a dog. Woof woof. After being turned into dogs, all of Fu Erdai's former classmates immediately rushed under the table, eagerly fighting for the bones they had dropped earlier. Damn. The speed at which they pounced was incredible. Seeing you guys gobble up what's on the floor so eagerly, I might as well give you a new skill, Fu Erdai said coldly. From now on, you can only eat shit. No other food is allowed. Not even the leftover rice on the floor. As soon as Fu Erdai finished speaking, the fairy sister waved her hand, and all the food the dog classmates had eaten was regurgitated, as though they had been poisoned, with foam coming out of their mouths. Woof woof. The dog classmates, realizing this was Fu Erdai's punishment, ran to his side and began to lick his toilet cleaning shoes clean. Good. Seeing your sincerity, I might grant you a chance. If you perform well, I'll let you be a good dog. If you don't do well, Fu Erdai's voice turned cold, then I'll make you worse than a dog. You'll be 100 times worse than just eating shit. Got it. The dog classmates, behaving like real dogs, nodded repeatedly, like grandchildren bowing to their grandfather. With the understanding reached, Fu Erdai called the front desk. Hello. This is the front desk, how may I assist you? Call your manager here immediately. Beep beep. Before the receptionist had a chance to reply, Fu Erdai hung up the phone. This wasn't about saving on phone bills. Fu Erdai wanted to create pressure, making the manager take him seriously and rush over quickly. As Fu Erdai expected, a few minutes later, the hotel manager, thinking there was an important guest dissatisfied with the hotel, hurried over with the assistant manager. When they opened the door to the private room and saw Fu Erdai sitting with his legs crossed, waiting for them, they immediately realized they had been tricked. The manager, furious, scolded him. Fu Erdai, you good for nothing. Do you really think you're some rich second generation? When you begged me for a job, how did you kneel down and plead with me? Now you dare to slack off here. Do you believe I'll have you thrown out and make you a beggar again? The manager had a strong memory of Fu Erdai. Back when they were recruiting, they had already filled the positions, but Fu Erdai had cried and begged him to hire him. Har! You still have the face to bring that up? If I hadn't promised to share half my salary with you, would you have worked for me? Fu Erdai's anger flared up when he remembered that time, something he hadn't wanted to bring up. Fu Erdai, how dare you insult our great manager? The chubby assistant manager scolded while walking over to Fu Erdai, ready to slap him. Fu Erdai had dealt with these two before, and he couldn't be bothered to argue with them. He gave an order. Dog classmates, attack. Start by biting off this fatty's limbs and let me hear his screams of pain. Woof woof. The 7 dog classmates pounced on the fat assistant manager. This guy was so lazy and fat, he could barely move. The dogs knocked him down in no time and began tearing at his limbs. Help! The dogs are attacking. The screams of agony sent chills down the manager's spine. Fu Erdai, what evil magic is this? How did you summon these wild dogs? I'll call the police on you, you can't escape. The manager was bewildered. This was a high-end hotel, and they barely allowed pets, let alone wild dogs. He didn't have time to figure it out though. Survival was more important. The manager, trembling in fear, turned to flee, but he couldn't open the door. In his panic, he began pounding on it, yelling for help. Help! Someone! The dogs are killing people. Time passed, but no one came to his aid. Instead, the barking of dogs grew louder. Woof woof. Desperate, the manager turned around, only to be terrified. 7 ferocious dogs were staring at him with blood dripping from their mouths, growling as they prepared to attack. Manager! Help! It hurts so much, I can't feel my limbs anymore. The manager looked down and gasped. My God! Not only could he not feel his limbs, but they were actually being eaten. It was horrifying. Unable to escape, the manager began scanning the room, wishing he could dig a hole and escape like a rat. But there was no way out. His only choice was to fight. He looked at the 7 vicious dogs and tried to gauge his chances. After shaking his head, he looked at Fu Erdai, who seemed thin and frail. He finally had an idea. He knelt with a thud and started begging Fu Erdai. Fu Erdai! Please spare me. I know I've been hard on you, and I've deducted your salary too much, but... The manager trailed off. He realized that all he had done was bully Fu Erdai and squeeze him for everything. He had never treated him as a human, and now he was in this humiliating, life-threatening situation. Speak. Our great manager, keep performing. As long as you can say the word, but even a little, I'll spare you. Seeing the manager, who usually acted so superior, now begging like a dog made Fu Erdai feel ecstatic. But. The manager stammered, but no, but came. Since you can't say but, let us freeze your life at this moment. No. Fu Erdai, listen to me, I'm a high-ranking manager. If you don't want to sweep toilets, I'll get you a better job. How about being a director? Fu Erdai shook his head without responding. You don't want to work? Fine, I have money. How much do you want? I'll give you all of it. Please don't let these dogs bite me. These dogs may be dogs, but you're worse than a dog. Fu Erdai, with the power in his hands, enjoyed every moment. You, a manager, sold me out for a little benefit. You don't even deserve to be a dog. Go die. Woof woof. As soon as Fu Erdai finished speaking, the 7 dog classmates pounced on the manager, tearing him apart in no time. Chapter 4. Thank you so much. After the manager was shredded. Looking at the bloody mess in the box, Fu Erdai finally smiled with satisfaction. My destined one, are you satisfied with the result? The fairy sister asked Fu Erdai with a smile while floating in the air. Satisfied, more than satisfied, it's so damn satisfying. Woof woof. At this time, a group of classmates were wagging their tails and begging for mercy at Fu Erdai. I almost forgot, I haven't removed the shit-eating curse from you yet. Sister Fairy, please give arms to my dog classmates and remove the curse. Woof woof. After the curse of eating shit was lifted, the dog classmates started eating shit again and rushed under the table to grab bones to eat. Eat. Eat more. This is your last meal anyway. A trace of cruelty flashed across Fu Erdai's lips. He walked out of the box with an extremely arrogant step, slammed the door shut, and shouted. Security, come quickly, a dog has bitten someone to death. Fu Erdai's loud shout, and the crazy speed at which it spread from person to person, alarmed the entire hotel. Within a quarter of an hour, the entire hotel was blocked. There are even more rumors outside. Have you heard? There's a rabies outbreak at the DeLong Hotel, and several people have been bitten to death. It's so scary. How could someone die in such a nice aristocratic hotel? You seem to have eaten at the DeLong Hotel yesterday. Could you have contracted canine plague? Go to their hospital for a checkup right away. Right. We shouldn't be so close to him. If he gets infected, it will be the end of us. This DeLong Hotel is not clean, so we'd better not come here. Rumors spread like wildfire, and human words are the most terrifying. From then on, the DeLong Hotel was ruined by the second generation of Fu. Inside the hotel, the boss's office. Brother Fu, I'm calling you brother, okay? When the police come to interrogate you or when the media interviews you, you must say good things about my hotel. My life and death depends on your decision. In the office, the boss was so anxious that he almost knelt down to Fu Erdai. This hotel is the boss' lifeblood, with many dignitaries and VIPs. If he doesn't give a good explanation, the hotel being inspected and closed is a small matter. But if those dignitaries come to cause trouble for him, it will not be so easy to deal with them. He will have to tear him apart. At this time, Fu Erdai was sitting in the boss's seat with a leisurely expression, crossing his legs, sipping fine tea, and the boss's secretary was helping him with massage, and he ignored the boss's begging. My shoes for sweeping the toilet seem to be dirty again. Fu Erdai answered the question irrelevantly. Nonsense, how can your shoes not be dirty when you sweep the toilet? It doesn't matter if you use dirty words or not, why do I need you to do this? Even though I have 1,000 complaints in my heart, I don't dare to lose my temper with the boss now. He also used hard tactics, asking the security guards to take down Fu Erdai, and if they forced him again, he would do it and obeyed obediently. But more than a dozen security guards were unable to get close to Fu Erdai, and since hard tactics didn't work, they had to resort to soft tactics, which led to the current situation. It's dirty. No problem, secretary. I'll clean Mr. Fu's shoes right away until they are clean enough for him. The female secretary wasn't like Fu Erdai who could cheat, so how could she dare to disobey? Little old man. Are you a beast? You don't understand what people say, right? I asked you to polish my shoes. Yes, yes. I will personally polish your shoes, old man. The boss bent down respectfully, picked up a piece of tissue he usually used to wipe his mouth, and prepared to lower his head to polish Fu Erdai's shoes himself. What are you doing? These shoes of mine are worth tens of millions. How dare you use your butt-wiping tissue to wipe my shoes? If they get damaged, can you afford to pay for it? What? Aren't the work shoes you use as toilet cleaners issued by my hotel? They seem to be only 5 yuan a pair. When did they increase to 10 million? How come my boss doesn't know? You know nothing. These slippers belong exclusively to my master Fu. There is only one pair in the world. Do you think they are precious? What are you doing? Aren't you just a toilet cleaner? If I didn't need your help, I would have fired you long ago. It's your turn to show off in front of me. I think so, but the reality is. What Uncle Fu said is that anything you have used must be an international brand, top quality, top quality. Old thing, the way you licked me almost made me fall in love with you. Since you old thing likes to lick, I'll let you lick enough. Well. I like to hear that. Since you like licking, then use your mouth to lick my shoes clean, and I will consider saying a good word for your hotel. With your mouth. The boss is usually very delicate and can't eat anything that's even slightly inferior. When Fu Erdai said to lick it with his mouth, his stomach started to protest. Vomit. The stomach gas keeps vomiting out. What are you doing? I told you to lick the shoes clean with your mouth, not to eat them with your mouth. What do you want to do with your stomach? Can you afford to eat my 10 million shoes? Eat. Boss, I feel sick just looking at it. The expression of grievance is obvious. But Fu Erdai emphasized 10 million again. Even a fool would understand that this guy obviously wanted 10 million. What about the smart boss? Uncle Fu. How about I pay 10 million to buy your shoes, and I don't have to lick them, okay? This is so embarrassing. 11 million. It's the only one in the world. 15 million. And where's my autograph? 20 million is already a lot, Uncle Fu, please give me a way to live. Since you are so sincere, I will give up the shoes and sell them to you. Immediately transfer 20 million Chinese yuan to my card. My card number is 9537. Okay. No problem. At the same time, Fu Erdai received a message on the phone. Huaxia Industrial and Commercial Bank, your account received 20 million yuan at 22.46. And the current balance is 20 million.56 yuan. 20 million was deposited into the account in an instant. If it weren't for the connection with this big boss, ordinary people would not be able to make it. Seeing that his bank card balance had increased by a full 20 million, Fu Erdai was so excited that he almost jumped up on the spot. However, considering that the boss was still there, I had to forcibly control this excitement to avoid any flaws in my pretense. Of course, the excitement cannot be changed. 20 million yuan. This is a huge sum of money for the second generation of Fu. From planning to executing this conspiracy, Fu Erdai paid so much cost and energy, and finally reaped the rewards. No wonder Fu Erdai was so excited and happy. With such a joyful mood, Fu Erdai suddenly felt that playing pranks on others was a kind of enjoyment. Uncle Fu, the money has arrived, right? What about speaking well of my hotel? No rush. We still have some unfinished business. Besides, the boss thought that the second generation Fu was going to find another way to resist paying the money, and he wanted to scold him. Why are you so startled? Did someone die in the family? I forgot to sign my shoes just now, so I'll make it up to you now. After Fu Erdai finished speaking, he actually picked up the pen on the boss's desk and signed his name on the shoes in a very serious manner. Puff. This crappy signature is worth 20 million, the boss is so angry that he wants to vomit blood. Here, sign your name. It's a fair trade, no cheating. The boss took the shoes with a look of disgust on his face. Are you touched by my honesty just now? I didn't sell you the shoes without the signature. Thank me quickly. There are very few sellers as conscientious as me. Puff. 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 Looking at Fu Erdai's annoying face, the boss wanted to kill him. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so fucking grateful. Chapter 5 System Store. After receiving 20 million yuan, I let the police record my statement for an hour. It was already 12 o'clock in the evening. The people were bitten to death by dogs and had nothing to do with Fu Erdai. The facts were before their eyes. The police asked some symbolic questions and let Fu Erdai go. As for those classmates of Fu Erdai, the person has already been bitten to death and the outcome is inevitable, so Fu Erdai doesn't bother to care. Today has passed, and the deadline for signing in to receive the fairy sister gift has expired. The fairy sister hurriedly floated out and said goodbye. My dear, I have been summoned urgently. I must go back immediately. See you again if we are destined to meet again. Bye. After she finished speaking, the fairy sister disappeared without even waiting for Fu Erdai to bid her a heartfelt farewell. Damn it. Just left like that. Although he was well prepared, Fu Erdai still felt a little disappointed. What a pity. I haven't fought against gods yet. A new day has arrived, and according to the system's sign-in routine, it seems that I can sign in again. Fu Erdai opened the system homepage. Name, Wushan. Age, 23. Gender, male. Occupation, unemployed. Sign in, not signed in today. Host, would you like to sign in today? Sign, you must sign. Ding, congratulations to the host for signing in successfully, and I will reward you with a day as the richest mother in H City. Damn it. The fairy sister is gone, and here comes the richest mother. What is this system for? Reward a mom. This doesn't mean you want me to be your son. I have been alone for more than 20 years and have encountered setbacks everywhere. Don't I have enough sons and grandchildren? Fu Erdai began to feel that this system was not so reliable. Etc. The son of the richest man. It seems that there is still room for improvement. The second generation rich people in TV dramas seem to be very popular, and I am the son of the richest man, so I should be able to get more benefits from her. Yes. I have to squeeze more, otherwise I will be sorry for the sign-in reward. Standing in front of the hotel gate, Fei thought that Fu Erdai could see Fang Tingmai, the richest woman in H City, walking towards him from afar. The richest man in H City, such a famous person, even if Fu Erdai has never seen him, he has seen him on his mobile phone, so it is not difficult to recognize him. Due to the requirements of the plot, Fu Erdai's performance can be as sensational as possible. He walked over quickly, opened his arms with tears in his eyes, and shouted loudly. Mom, I, the second generation Fu, have been looking for you for a long time. Finally, God has rewarded us and reunited us. How do you know I'm your mother? Fang Tingmai was very happy that mother and son were reunited. But when she saw that Fu Erdai seemed to have known that he was her son a long time ago, if it had not been confirmed by the hospital, she would have every reason to believe that Fu Erdai was a big liar. After hearing Fang Tingmai's question, Fu Erdai didn't know how to answer. He only knew that this temporary mother was given by the system. He had no idea what bizarre reasons the system found to make Fang Tingmai his temporary mother. But since it was given by the system, there shouldn't be any problems. Just find a reason. Oh my god. I dream about you every night. You are the richest man in H City. I didn't have the ability to meet you before, but now I finally have the chance to meet you. I can't help but run up to you and recognize you. Pretend to start crying to gain sympathy. If you really despise me as a toilet sweeper, then I won't marry you. You should just go on with your life. I was abandoned by my own mother and I don't want to live anymore. I'm ready to die. Crying my heart out. Fu Erdai's expression, which made everyone sad and tearful, has touched the great maternal love of his temporary mother Fang Tingmai. Son. I'm sorry for you. I didn't mean that. I was just curious. Please don't blame me, okay? I just want to find you quickly and love you well. Fang Tingmai not only believed it all, but was also so moved that she burst into tears. Damn it. Are you really touched? With my acting skills, I'm definitely worthy of being a best actor. I must try to get the title one day. Fu Erdai knew that this sensational drama was a success, so he decided to stop while he was ahead. He was also very curious about the reason the system gave to this temporary mother to recognize her son. Mom. What about you? How did you know about my handsome, charming and long-lost son? That's a long story. Do you remember the physical examination you went to the hospital for before you started working at the hotel? Remember? Speaking of this, Fu Erdai became very excited. If he had not worked in a hotel, he would not have been able to start such a wild, cool and awesome life. It was something he could never hope for in his lifetime. What happened to the physical examination? The physical examination requires a blood draw, and then the hospital will know that you have the rare WC blood type, which is unique in China. Unique? That means besides me, Mom also has WC blood type. So you think I'm your long-lost son? Oh shit. This system is so programmable. And we can still figure out this relationship. Fu Erdai admires him very much. Long live the system. Isn't it? Although blood type cannot be a 100% basis for identifying relatives, this unique blood type cannot be wrong. Now that the recognition of relatives has been successful, Fu Erdai doesn't want to waste any more time. The reward from the richest mom was short-lived, only one day, and the second generation Fu was too lazy to listen to Fang Tingmei's nagging. Goddamn, family love is really fucked. Getting more benefits is the most important thing. What a pity, my mother and I missed each other for 20 years. 20 years? Son. It's okay. I'm the richest man in H City now. I will compensate you well. Hearing this word of compensation was the key to the lifeblood of Fu Erdai. I heard that shopping can enhance family ties and relieve stress. What do you think, Mom? Fu Erdai asked tentatively. Son. You are being too polite. Mom has already said that she will make it up to you. As long as you like it, Mom will listen to you. Just make the decision. You don't need to be polite to Mom, let alone discuss it with Mom. Mom is the best in the world. I love you. Who wants to be polite to a temporary mother like you who will never be able to get married in your entire life? Just don't vomit blood later. Mom loves you too. I heard that the merchandise in the largest never-ending super shopping mall in H City is very luxurious. I'm poor and have never dared to go shopping there. Can Mommy take you there to have some fun? Just go and have a look. I won't let Mommy spend a lot of money, okay? As a grown man, he actually acted like a spoiled child towards Fang Tingmai in order to achieve his goal. It turns out that I have such a cute side, which really makes Fu Erdai himself impressed by how handsome he is. Okay. Mom will take you there. It's up to you. I don't know if it was due to the effect of the system or because Fang Tingmai couldn't resist Fu Erdai's persuasion, but she agreed to Fu Erdai's request. After getting into Fang Tingmei's 50 million Rolls-Royce, Fu too was extremely surprised. A 50 million Rolls-Royce. It's so luxurious that even Fu Erdai can't help but want to play with it. Unfortunately, I am poor and don't even have the money to take a driving test. Ding, it is detected that their host has a request. The system now opens the system store for their host and gives away 5 sign-in points. System store? Their host can buy anything in the system store as long as there are enough sign-in points. After hearing the introduction of the system, Fu Erdai immediately became very interested in the system store. The system store will be opened immediately. Summon Fairy Sister, 1 million check-in points one day. The son of the Queen of Huaxia, 700,000 check-in points one day. Seaview Villa, 100,000 check-in points permanent. China A++. Driving license, 100 check-in points permanent. Chapter 6. The customer is God. Damn it. This system store is absolutely amazing. Even gods can be summoned, and they can be directly related to Her Majesty the Queen. It's so cool. See all kinds of strange products in the system store. Fu Erdai's cock was aroused and he was already imagining making love with the fairy sister. Ding, their host's check-in points are seriously insufficient and cannot purchase the service of summoning the fairy sister. Not enough check-in points. After hearing the system prompt, Fu Erdai opened the system homepage to check. Name, Fu Erdai. Age, 23. Gender, male. Occupation, unemployed. Sign in, signed in today. Check-in point, 5. Seeing there were only 5 check-in points on the system homepage, Fu Erdai wanted to pull the system out and give it a good beating. What are you doing? It's obviously your own stuff, but why do you have to set up a sign-in point to buy it? So infuriating. A quarter of an hour later, Fu Erdai and Fang Tingmai arrived at the first super plaza in H City. Looking at the super mall that seemed like a paradise for the rich, the second generation of Fu was truly enlightened. Fu Erdai did not lie to Fang Tingmai about this. He really had never been to the first super plaza in H City because he was poor. Now that he's here, if he doesn't let Fang Tingmai bleed heavily, he'd really be letting down his bloody plot of being a cheap son again. After being poor for 23 years, the second generation of Fu has a lot of things to buy. Clothes, watches, gold. Fu Erdai always wants to buy these things to show off. It wasn't that I just happened to have this sudden idea when I met Fang Tingmai. After graduation, Fu Erdai's salary has been very low, so Fu Erdai only has a few sets of clothes. Except for one set that he occasionally needs to wear for work and go out, the rest are too rubbish. With nearly 20 million in savings in his card, Fu Erdai couldn't help wanting to go out and spend a bit, at least to dress in a way that looked impressive. Otherwise, you will fail to show off and be struck by lightning. That's what it's like to have money. My heart began to swell. Never Night is known as the largest nighttime shopping mall in H City, with first-class merchandise and security. There was no need to bring bodyguards when entering the shopping mall, so Fang Tingmai ordered the bodyguards to guard the doors of each mall just in case, and then she took Fu Erdai on an exciting shopping trip. Handsome guy, would you like to buy a famous watch? We have limited editions from all over the world. Do you want to come in and take a look? When he arrived at the famous watch store, as soon as Fu Erdai approached, a waitress came over to chat with him. Sister Lin, look at this boy, he's wearing tattered clothes, he doesn't look like a rich man, he definitely can't afford it, so we don't need to bother introducing him to someone else, right? After hearing what her colleague said, the saleswoman looked at Fu Erdai again and found that it was just as her colleague said. She immediately lost interest in Fu Erdai and looked at him with contempt. Seeing that these waitresses were beautiful, spoke nicely and were enthusiastic, Fu Erdai originally wanted to nod and go in to see if he could buy a few more luxury watches as backup. After all, he had the richest man paying for it, so he had no shortage of money. But after hearing the salesman's whispered conversation and their disdainful looks, Fu Erdai immediately said, "Very interested." He then pulled Fang Tingmai into this famous watch store. "Do you need an introduction? I'll recommend you a few of the cheapest ones." Listening to the other party's naked sarcasm, Fu Erdai shook his head and pretended to be rich and powerful and said, "No, except for the cheapest one in your store, pack all the others for me." We didn't hear it wrong. The two sales ladies were stunned for a moment. He looked at Fu Erdai carefully again. The shoes were made of coarse cloth and worn out. Apart from the pair of eyes that seemed to be emitting a shining light, there was nothing else worth noting about them. If there is one thing I have to say, it is confidence, a smile full of confidence. I really don't understand what this poor guy has to be confident about. No matter how you look at it, the second generation of Fu still doesn't look like a rich man. Since he is not a rich man and looks so poor, where does this guy get his confidence from? Is he a madman? What? Don't you want to do business anymore? Fu Erdai asked with interest. I want to. But you? The salesman looked down on others while speaking, and even gestured at the rough clothes on Fu Erdai's body with his hands. Can you afford it? This is an international famous watch. If you just said to cover the whole package, it will cost at least hundreds of millions of yuan. The salesperson and waiter named Lin didn't believe that Fu Erdai had the money to pay, so he had no intention of packing up the food. Instead, he looked at Fu Erdai with a playful expression, waiting for Fu Erdai to make a fool of himself. Of course I have it, what's a few hundred million? Don't look down on me because I am young and poor. Fu Erdai said ambitiously. Puff. This guy is really good at pretending. The salesperson really admired the Fu second generation. He didn't expect that even though he was poor, he was so ambitious. They all have the idea of sympathizing with each other. You have ambition, right? Then I will step on you so hard that you will never be able to raise your head. Smash that little balloon of your ambition and make you forever inferior to us service salesmen. What a joke! Do we have to wait for you to come back and pay us in 30 years? Not to mention whether you will be dead by then. Even if you are not dead, with your current level of achievements, you are not even as good as our waiters. Do you have a future? Don't make me laugh to death. Go back to where you came from the slums and live in poverty until you grow old. Don't come out and embarrass yourself. No need to wait 30 years, I can pay now. You can pay now. Hundreds of millions. Do you have the money? The sales clerk felt that he could no longer see through Fu Erdai. Is this guy deliberately pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger? Like in the TV dramas, some rich kid comes to our store to show off and gets slapped in the face. With this idea in mind, the salesperson's attitude improved 180 degrees. With the attitude of a dog licking its master, he started to praise Fu Erdai. That's what I said. The handsome boy is obviously the son of a wealthy family. Not only is he rich, but his confidence is unmatched by ordinary people. I noticed it before we even entered the store, so I gave him a warm welcome. How is it? Handsome guy, are you still going to pack it up as you said just now? Damn it. With this reaction speed, why not break the Disney World record for brain teasers? Hey, I really don't have any money now. I have no money. Why are you pretending if you have no money? Go back to where you came from and cool off. The waiters started to chase people away. I don't have money, but my mom does. Your mother? How much money can your mother have given you such a poor appearance? Go away and don't make trouble. We are very busy. You guys are done. You actually said my mom is poor. Waiter. Seeing that the time was ripe, Fu Erdai directed the disaster towards Fang Tingmai. Mom. Look, people look down on you, the richest man in H City. Fang Tingmai heard clearly the conversation between Fu Erdai and the waiter. Although she knew that Fu Erdai was deliberately bringing trouble to her in order to fight back, she also knew that these waiters were just looking down on her. Not only was he not angry with Fu Erdai, but he was very happy about it. Furthermore, even if the son is wrong in every way, he is still his son and there is no reason not to vent his anger on his behalf. Suddenly, Fang Tingmai became very angry and yelled at the salesperson. Who the hell are you? How dare you look down on my son? Do you believe that I will make your little watch shop disappear from the Nevernight Superplaza? The richest man in H City. This time the salesperson finally saw and recognized Fang Tingmai, and was so surprised that he was speechless for a moment. Oh my goodness. Your mother is more than just rich. He is simply a super rich man. But I've never heard that the richest man in H City has such a son. Could it be that he changed his career halfway? Yes, that's definitely the case. I heard that nowadays wealthy people like to play with young handsome men and adopt a godson or something like that. What are you looking at? Why don't you just do what my son says? I have a lot of money, so I can buy your store without any problem. Seeing that Fu Erdai has a mother who is the richest man, no matter whether he is an adopted or biological mother, the sales clerk did not dare to be negligent this time and began to pack the things according to Fu Erdai's requirements in a hurry. After nearly half an hour, the two sales attendants finally packed the food for Fu Erdai as requested. Hello, sir. According to your request, we have packed everything for you, a total of 150 million, and the remaining zero has been paid. Would you like to pay by card or cash? The attitude towards rich people is indeed different. The world is becoming more corrupt and people's hearts are no longer the same as they used to be. But I like it. I won't pay by card or cash for these packaged items. Fu Erdai said frivolously. So what you mean, sir? The sales clerk resisted the urge to curse, picked up his own teacup, took a sip to ease the anger in his heart. If Fu Erdai didn't have a mother who was the richest person next to him, they would have cursed him long ago. I just asked you to pack up, I didn't say I had to buy. I have a little hobby, I have to buy things that are unique in the store. Only when you pack up all the unwanted ones so that you can't see them anymore, I will decide to buy the cheapest one. The customer is God. You won't have any complaints against me, the handsome, charming God, right? Fu Erdai said with a smile. Puff. Damn your little hobby. The salesman named Lin knew that he was fooled by Fu Erdai, and he was so angry that he spat out the tea he had just drunk. How dare you play with me? Fuck the customer, he is God. The salesperson not only had complaints at this moment, he also had the urge to kill someone. Chapter 7. This guy is too strong, don't mess with him. These sales clerks hated Fu Erdai very much, but since Fang Tingmai, the richest woman in H City, was backing him up, they dared not get angry and could only swallow it in their hearts and try to please him in every way possible. Sir, you are really unique. It's not enough that he dresses so tastefully. Even his hobby of shopping is so unique. He really deserves to be the son of the richest man. He has a lot of personality. Really? This plainclothes is what I wore when I was cleaning the toilet. It still smells like urine. If you don't believe me, try it. As Fu Erdai spoke, he actually stretched out his long sleeves for the salesperson to smell. Sir, you really know how to joke, har har. The sales clerk didn't want to continue the embarrassment, so he had to put on a smile, hoping that Fu Erdai would not dwell on the mistake just now. But what Fu Erdai hates most is people who look down on others and are unwilling to give up. What little hobby? That's just a trick. Do you have the guts to bite me? Come on. The second generation of Fu is unscrupulous, relying on the support of the richest woman Fang Tingmai. Although they were filled with resentment at seeing the second generation Fu who deserved a beating, they did not dare to vent their anger. After all, he was indeed a guest, and more importantly, the second generation Fu had a mother who was the richest man and whom they could not afford to offend. Sir, I'm sorry, we were wrong. Can you give us a chance? We have elderly parents and young children to take care of, life is not easy. Unable to win with words, unable to win with force, and unable to win with money, these service salesmen started to play emotional games. Okay. Since you guys admit your mistakes and are able to correct them, I will forgive you. Now pack up the cheapest watch for me. Fu Erdai pointed to the only watch in the store that was not packaged. Okay. Seeing that Fu Erdai was no longer pestering them and that there was still business to be done, the sales staff immediately changed from tearful to cheerful. While packing, the two sales attendants whispered. Sister Lin. Is this really the cheapest one in the store? 100,000. Who cares? He can't possibly check our prices one by one, so just send him away. This kind of mistress who takes advantage of others' power, on the surface is my son, but in reality the relationship is very complicated. I don't want to serve him for even a second, he's too good at playing. While packing the food for Fu Erdai, the two sales attendants were whispering and complaining to each other. If it was before, Fu Erdai really couldn't hear it, but since his body awakened the system, not only has his body become stronger, but even his facial senses have become much stronger, and he can hear even the smallest sounds. Sir, your watch has been packed, totaling 108,000. Would you like to pay in cash or by card? I want to pay in cash or by credit card this time. Fu Erdai said jokingly. Sir, please stop playing. Didn't you promise us that you would forgive us? Please, we are just trying to make a living and we don't really want to offend you. The sales clerk begged for mercy again, crying. Why are you in such a hurry? I just said no cash or card payments, but I didn't say no purchases. Call. Knowing that Fu Erdai was not going to make trouble again, the sales clerk breathed a sigh of relief. If Fu Erdai continues to make trouble and the manager finds out, they will be in big trouble. Excuse me, sir, how would you like to pay? Mom. Can you ask someone to send 100,000 coins over here? Fu Erdai suddenly turned around and said to Fang Tingmai. As long as it's about money, nothing is impossible with me, your mother. After Fang Tingmai answered Fu Erdai, she picked up the phone and dialed it. Butler Hao, find a way to send 100,000 coins to me immediately. A payment of 100,000 coins doesn't sound wrong. But the other salesperson and cashier was completely confused. Sister Lin, if that guy really wants to send 100,000 coins as payment, we'll have to count until our hands cramp. How come you still have the leisure to drink tea? That's right. The sales clerk named Lin did not seem to be in a hurry. He looked confident and was sipping tea leisurely. He has his own plan, and I have my own way. Sister Lin, do you have any way to deal with his 100,000 coins? Of course. We can count the coins by weighing them. Although it's not 100% accurate, even if there's a difference of 100 or 200, we can make up for it. The rebate we get from selling the watch is 500 yuan. We can make 300 yuan more and get rid of the mistress kept by the rich man. It's worth it. Sister Lin is very smart. I admire you so much. You are really smart. You're welcome, sister. Come, try the calming and soothing tea I brewed. These sales clerks thought they had cracked Fu Erdai's tactics and had started celebrating. Unexpectedly, their conversation was heard clearly by Fu Erdai. These two guys are really lawless. It must be treated well. Mom. Those 100,000 coins need to be changed. Fu Erdai suddenly said loudly to Fang Tingmai. Son, you can change whatever you want. Mom will do it. Divide the 100,000 coins into 3 denominations, $1, 50 cents, and 10 cents. Pour them together and shuffle them before sending them over. Puff. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, the sales clerk surnamed Lin spat out the tea that was about to reach his throat. Sister Lin, what are you doing? You're so happy just because you made less than 300 yuan, right? Another waiter saw Lin's misbehavior and thought it was because he made money. It's over. The waiter surnamed Lin murmured, hurriedly ran over to Fu Erdai, and then, with a plop, he knelt down in front of Fu Erdai. Sir, please let us go. I really didn't mean to offend you. First time I heard crying. Sister Lin, what are you doing? Another waiter was at a loss when he saw that his senior, who was so smug a moment ago, was now kneeling down. What? Just because the deal was done, there's no need to be so moved, right? Fu Erdai asked with a smile as he looked at the waiter kneeling on the ground. Sir, you are joking. It was our fault. We shouldn't have said bad things about you behind your back. We really know we were wrong this time. Please let us go. We won't dare to do it again. I don't agree with what you said. You guys are running a business, and I come to buy things. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not refusing to pay. It's very difficult for me to be so anxious. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. If you have any complaints, please let us know. We will compensate you accordingly. Or can you please take back the coin payment method and try a simpler payment method? Coins are also a legitimate form of payment in China. Why should I change them? I haven't broken any law. Sir, you are joking. You are right. But if we use coins of different denominations as you just said, we will have to count coins all day. We may not be able to do business anymore. We will be scolded to death by the manager. Please have mercy on us, sir. That's not right. The first time I told you to pay with coins, you were still sipping your tea smugly, and then, why did you suddenly come over and kneel down? Excuse me, sir. How dare I show off my little cleverness in front of you? Tell me, aren't they all coins? What's the difference? When coins of the same denomination were made in China, they were almost the same weight, so it was not difficult to calculate the number by weighing them. But you later changed them to different denominations and mixed them up, so we can't calculate them by weighing them. We can only count them one by one until our hands cramp. While talking, the sales attendant surnamed Lin was also observing Fu Erdai's expression, really afraid that he would say something wrong and Fu Erdai would do something weird to them again. This guy is so strong. Don't mess with it. Chapter 8 Beauty, are you interested? At this moment, the waiter was not at all surprised that Fu Erdai wanted to buy a famous watch. Instead, he was more frightened. The waiter named Lin is a veteran, not a rookie, and he believes that he will never make a mistake in judging customers. It is because of this that we are able to serve different customers with ease every time and never make mistakes. On the one hand, it is naturally because those who can come here are all rich people and are easy to fool. On the other hand, it is because the poor are easy to identify and can be sent away by simply scaring them. But this second generation Fu, he is the kind of person who doesn't play by the rules. You say someone is backing us up, then someone is backing us up. If you don't buy anything, just scold us. After buying it, they still asked for coins to pay. Isn't it obvious that they are trying to trick you and leave you no way out? I've never seen anything so playful. It's amazing. The waiter no longer had the confidence he had just now, and had been so annoyed by Fu Erdai that he lost his temper. Wouldn't it be better if we did this earlier? Seeing Fu Erdai's attitude, the waiter named Lin felt bitter in his mouth and wanted to slap himself a few times. Why was he acting so high and mighty? If he had known this would happen, he would have just done his job of serving the people honestly and not suffered this punishment. Only she would never dare to sell this packed luxury watch to Fu Erdai again. Love or not is one thing, but if she offended this guy because of a little detail and he found ways to bully her, then she would have no place to cry. Before Fu Erdai agreed, the waiter didn't dare to stand up. He could only speak gently and carefully. Sir, you are right. This is absolutely wrong. It is all our fault. We sincerely apologize. Seeing Fu Erdai's still unmoved expression, she had no idea what Fu Erdai meant. She could only wait like this and dared not say a word anymore. Just kneeling like this. If I had known this would happen, why did I do it in the first place? After a speechless complaint, Fu Erdai did not give any substantive decision response. After what happened just now, Fu Erdai had a very bad impression of the waiters in front of him, so he didn't want to reveal the matter so quickly. As waiters, these two guys definitely don't have much money. Besides, he already had the richest man paying for tonight, so he didn't need the money from them. However, these two waiters have good figures. The appearance is also okay, but the two waitresses were startled when they felt Fu Erdai's lustful eyes on them. Is this guy asking us to sell our bodies? No. I will never surrender even if I am beaten to death. Sir. I'm sorry, we are regular watch shop, please respect yourself. What are you talking about? Do you think I'm the kind of person you think I am? I, Fu Erdai, am also a well-known figure now, how could I have such dirty thoughts? Fu Erdai said that he underestimated me. Thinking is too backward. I always do it directly. Puff. Could it be that this guy really wants us to? Sir, we really are selling our art but not our bodies. How about a different punishment for the impulsive one? Punishment? You call this a punishment? That's really disrespectful of you, isn't it? Fu Erdai did not explain any more, but turned to Fang Tingmai and said, Mom, how about I find you a wife? If you find a wife, you can have a grandson soon. Mom will do whatever you say. You are not a child anymore. You really should have some companions. Fang Tingmai smiled and fully agreed with Fu Erdai's approach. Damn it. A few more? Poverty really limits my imagination. Is this how rich people play? Now that Fang Tingmai had expressed her opinion, Fu Erdai turned his attention back to the two waiters. My mom has agreed. Are you guys interested? My family is the richest in H City. There are so many benefits. Can you imagine? Young married woman. In this situation, when the smart waiters heard Fu Erdai say he wanted to find a wife, they had already guessed it. This guy is blatantly trying to recruit us? This idea. Yes or no? A bit. However, being able to marry into the richest family in H City should be a great thing. Becoming a wealthy wife, living a carefree life, with endless money to spend, and endless gold and silver jewelry to wear. How many girls have the wish of this? Etc. This guy. He never plays by the rules. It's impossible for him to be so kind. Even though we have offended him, he still extends such an attractive olive branch to us. There must be a conspiracy. We cannot let him succeed. We must unite against this enemy and hold our ground. If you agree to my request and become good wives for my mother, I will give you 1 million each as an engagement gift. How about that? When the two waiters were hesitating, Fu Erdai pushed the matter to a climax and promised 1 million. 1 million. Gave it before the engagement. It's impossible to fake it. What on earth is this guy thinking about? Could it be that he really likes us? Never mind. 1 million. We can never make that much money in our entire lives. Just be cheated if you get cheated. With 1 million, you will definitely make a profit even if you get cheated. Okay. I agree. The waiter named Lin spoke first. Anyway, I'm not a woman covered in gold, so there's no need to pretend to be the Virgin Mary. Birds die for food, and people die for money. Famous sayings throughout the ages are not just empty words. There is nothing to be ashamed of. If you really want to be shameful, it is shameful to be poor and have no money. If I really have to choose between the two, I would rather cry in a BMW than laugh on a bicycle. Can I do this? The other waiter was obviously not as open as the waiter named Lin and was very shy. She is only 19 this year and still a virgin, so she should be reserved. However, she has long experienced the cruelty of society. She is an undergraduate with top academic performance. She thought she could easily find a good job with high salary and little work after graduation. But she didn't expect that after she entered the society, reality slapped her hard. The better jobs were famous companies, bachelor degree or above, 1 year of work experience. State-owned enterprises, college degree or above, 2 years of work experience. Looking at the work experience requirements, she began to doubt her life and decided to become a waitress. After only a few days of work, he met Fu Erdai, who offered 1 million yuan as an engagement gift. For a newly graduated worker who has not experienced much of the world, the temptation of this 1 million is unimaginable. What's more, he is the richest man and the second generation of rich people. It would be a lie to say that I am not moved. What chastity! What reserve! What worldly perspective! Is money real? Go to hell! Fu Erdai said that although the two waiters were struggling inside, they could not resist the temptation and agreed. So cool! There's something to play with. Since you all agree, let me tell you my requirements. I can give you the money first, but I must be your wife. Let's meet at the Changsalong Hotel in the city center tomorrow night. I want him to be your 7 times a night man. Chapter 9 Elevator Romance. Good things come in pairs. Fu Erdai left his phone number with the two waiters and said goodbye. Ding, congratulations to their host for successfully tricking the snake. 100 sign-in points have been issued. Please check them. The system suddenly issued a series of reminder sounds. Fu Erdai was so busy trying to cheat his mother that he didn't even bother to pay attention to the system. What the hell is this? I just gave you 100 unrealistic sign-in points for fun, and I don't even know what the system is for. It's better to cheat your mother and get something real. Mom. I want to buy some clothes first, is that okay? Fu Erdai said very obediently. Well. What are you wearing? You should have changed a long time ago. Fang Tingmai looked at Fu Erdai lovingly. I'll take you to the 8th floor. It's full of international brand name clothes. You can pick whatever you want. Are you satisfied? A well-behaved face. Thank you, Mom. You're so nice. At this moment, Fu Erdai felt very happy. As an orphan since childhood, he has never experienced this kind of maternal love. However, Fu Erdai quickly pulled himself out of his mother's love. This is a gift from the system, it's not real, so just try to cheat as much as you can. What about family, friendship, and love? Go to hell. Can money be real? Fu Erdai and Fang Tingmai entered the elevator. There were not many people in the elevator, only 2 beauties. A woman standing near the elevator entrance has an oval face and looks very attractive and beautiful. She has long flowing hair and a tight outfit, showing off her devilish figure 100%. Seeing a beautiful woman. Beautiful girl. Fu Erdai's heart, filled with love like the tide, is about to overflow again. Hi, beautiful lady, you. Before Fu Erdai could finish his words, the beautiful woman near the elevator turned around and glared at him. What do you mean? I know you want my contact information. This old-fashioned and cheesy way of hooking up is long out of date. Oh. No, What do you mean by I? I know I'm good-looking, everyone loves me, and flowers bloom when I see them. Are you going to fall in love at first sight? You scoundrel. You shameless man. You're vulgar. Get out of the way. Fu Erdai was too lazy to talk nonsense with her and pushed the woman away. What the hell? I just want to press the elevator button, why are you dithering? Aren't you annoying? Press the elevator button. Beauty. It's so embarrassing. Is this guy ignoring my beauty? Har har. Another beautiful woman in the elevator was laughing uncontrollably. It was obvious that the two of them were not in the same group, otherwise they would not have laughed at their companion and boosted others' morale. It's great to press the elevator button. The beauty was obviously dissatisfied. It was unclear whether it was because her elevator press was ignored or because Fu Erdai pushed her and she had no place to vent her anger. She continued to curse, "You are so rude. What if you hurt my beautiful girl? Can you afford to pay for it? You really don't know how to be gentle with women." While cursing, the beauty finally noticed Fang Tingmai beside Fu Erdai. The person next to you is. Could it be? Definitely. Fang Tingmai, the richest person in H City. When she saw the richest man in H City, the beauty acted like she saw her idol and instantly turned into a little fangirl, thinking about going over to hook up with him. "Ms. Fang, I'm your loyal fan. My name is Bai Renmai. Can you sign an autograph for me? I admire you so much. Damn it. What a name. Bai, you are prettier than others, but your temper is really not good." Fu Erdai muttered. "What's it got to do with you? Go cool off and don't disturb me from interacting with my idol." As Bai Renmai was talking, she had already started to chase people away, hoping to use her graceful body to rub Fu Erdai away and occupy a favorable position so that she could have a close contact with her idol. He doesn't care about other people's opinions at all, and no longer has the arrogance he had before. "Get out of here. Who gave you the courage to chase my son away? Do you believe I will use money to hit you to death? When the richest man shows his power, it can shock the world and make ghosts weep. Now that we are in a peaceful and prosperous age, it would be enough to shock the world and make the gods and ghosts weep, but it is more than enough to intimidate the little goblin by Renmai. Wow. Idols are indeed idols, so imposing. Etc. Son. Bai Renmai looked around and found that there were only 4 of them in the elevator, 3 men and 1 woman, and Fu Erdai was the only man. The son of the richest man. This is worn out in tatters. Are you coming out to experience life? It must be like this. The richest man's son might have just asked me for my reputation or phone number. I just refused. I am such a stupid kid. What a great opportunity, to reach the sky in 1 step. The beautiful girl is so regretful that her intestines turn green. Handsome guy. Give me some prestige. Why add prestige? This old-fashioned way of picking up guys is already outdated. The second generation of Fu started copying and slapping people in the face. It's okay if you don't add prestige. Can you tell me your address? I can tell you, but what? As long as I, Bai Renmai, can do it, I will go through fire and water, no matter what, even if. As she spoke, Bai Renmai began to twist her devilish figure, in an obvious attempt to seduce her with her beauty. But I don't know where I live. Puff. Bai Renmai felt like vomiting blood. Who doesn't know where they live? This guy must be angry about what happened just now, but so what? As long as I work harder, with my devilish figure and angelic face, I will definitely be able to hook this rich second generation. If I become the daughter-in-law of the richest man, I will have endless money to spend, go shopping like crazy every day, and travel in luxury cars. Bai Renmai was confident and continued to flirt. You're being nice to me for no reason. I really like it. Fu Erdai really wants to watch it, and it doesn't cost any money anyway. I am an orphan, I have no house or car, and now I have lost my job. I really don't know where to live, and I didn't lie to Bai Renmai. If this guy is going to perform, there is no reason for Fu Erdai not to watch. Seeing that Fu Erdai was seduced by her beauty, Bai Renmai thought there was a chance and she couldn't stop. Handsome guy. You are so bad. You always stare at me there. The more presumptuous Bai Renmai approached Fu Erdai, put her hands on Fu Erdai's neck, and began to seduce him by licking his lips with her tongue. Women don't love bad men. I have to be bad. Yeah. I just like the bad ones. How about you like me? I'm a big bad guy. Of course, the worse the better. I like big bad guys even more. Okay. I'm going to be bad for you now. After Fu Erdai finished speaking, he picked up Bai Renmai, changed their positions, and pressed her against the elevator wall. Wow. You're in this shopping mall elevator. That's really bad. But I like it. It's exciting enough. Bai Renmai has closed her eyes, waiting for Fu Erdai to come. After a long time, there was still no movement, only Fu Erdai's joking words could be heard. Whether you like it or not, we're at the 8th floor. I'm going to go buy some clothes. Please do as you please. Bye, beautiful girl. Bye-bye. When Bai Renmai opened her eyes, she just saw the elevator door closing and Fu Erdai's back leaving. Hateful. Is this guy a pig? You leave a beauty like me and insist on going shopping. What's even more infuriating is that he didn't even take me with him when he went shopping. Don't you know that girls love shopping the most? It's so infuriating. I don't even know this guy's phone number or address. No. I have to go back to the 8th floor to ask for clarification. This is a golden opportunity that I cannot miss. Hit the elevator button. Hurry up, broken elevator. I want to go to the 8th floor. Ding, the elevator is rising, please do not operate it recklessly. Chapter 10, A Romance in the Mall. 8th floor. Wearing Pinru's wardrobe. Here, there is everything about clothing. There is nothing you can't buy, as long as you have money. Looking at the endless brand names, Fu Erdai was truly enlightened. Several waiters were waiting at the elevator exit early, just to express their welcome as soon as possible. Fang Tingmai is accustomed to going in and out of such high-end occasions. But it was Fu Erdai's first time, so it was inevitable that he felt a little unnatural. He originally thought that the waiters would give him a hard time when they saw this poor drunk boy, and Fu Erdai was already prepared to show off and get slapped in the face. But this is a super high-end area, the waiters are all strictly trained and well-educated, plus Fu Erdai was a customer here, so he was not given any trouble, and there was no bloody incident of him showing off and then getting slapped in the face. Even when Fu Erdai walked out of the elevator, the waiters bowed to him 90 degrees. Welcome. Just this one action made Fu Erdai's favorability towards this high-end area soar. Only now did I realize how ignorant it was to think that those waiters would look down on him and prevent him from entering. It's true that poverty makes people short of breath. Sudden. Fang Tingmai said to Fu Erdai with a slightly unhappy look on her face. My dear son. I have an important meeting call to attend. Can you go pick out your clothes first? Fu Erdai. Damn it. They even dared to use the old-fashioned method of avoiding paying the bill, which is often seen in TV dramas, on me. A face full of disgust. Mom. I'm afraid I can't take on such a heavy responsibility. How about I wait for you and then we can do it together, okay? Same old thing. You want to trick me into buying clothes, but you refuse to pay for them. Who knows if you have colluded with this store to get me to do sales? No way. You have your own plan, and I have my own way to get over the wall. Just cling to you and won't let go. Son. I'm afraid you'll get impatient if the conference call takes too long. It's okay. It's my great honor to be able to accompany my mother on the phone. Fuck you. I'm really impatient if you don't want to pay for me. You are such a good son. I am so lucky to have such a good child like you. Tears suddenly fell down. I've decided. I'm going to give you my gold card and the password. This gold card represents not only my wealth, but also my reputation as the richest man in H City. You can buy whatever you want. There is nothing you can't buy in this super mall. After Fang Tingmai finished speaking, she actually took out the gold card. Mom. How can this be so embarrassing? Am I the kind of son that was bought with money? Fu Erdai was so excited. He snatched the gold card from Fang Tingmai's hand. Mom. You must not tell anyone the card password, even your son. I can't. I can't. I can't, I can. Good son, Mom knows you can do it. The password is. After receiving the password, Fu Erdai jumped for joy like a deer and sang a heartbreaking song on the spot. There is only one good mother in the world, and a child with a mother is like a treasure. Son. Mom is so touched. If you are touched, go to the conference call. Don't let personal feelings affect your business. After Fu Erdai finished speaking, he turned around and went to buy clothes without waiting for Fang Tingmai to react. Who cares about his reaction? The more mothers given by the system, the better. It's free and there is no liability anyway. Son. I hate it. Why can't I recognize you, such a sensible son, earlier? You are really a good baby sent by God. I love you so much. The old tree in front of the door has grown new buds, and flowers are blooming in the yard again. At this time, Fang Tingmei's phone rang. Hello. Handsome guy, buying clothes. When Fu Erdai arrived at the clothing store and was strolling around, a sales lady came up to him and asked politely. Having just gotten a credit gold card, Fu Erdai nodded with a little joy. Do you need an introduction? I'll recommend you something. Listening to the sweet voice, Fu Erdai nodded again with satisfaction and said, okay. It doesn't matter if it looks good or not, the key is to be classy and stylish. You should wear it out in a high-profile and stylish way. Do you understand? In this regard, the second generation of Fu can be said to be a green hand. In the past, people were poor and had no money, so they had no qualifications. But now it is different. We have the richest man's gold card in our hands. It can truly be said that with one card in hand, the world is mine. When the time is right, act. Buy. Besides, Fu Erdai has been alone for 20 years, so it would be nice to have someone to praise him when he buys something, even if that person is someone he doesn't know. Going shopping by yourself is so unclassy. Even though I know the saleswoman may recommend high-priced products, if I see something I like, I will just buy it. I have money anyway. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, the female salesperson who originally wanted to promote the product enthusiastically became even more enthusiastic. Sir, please come this way. With the recommendation of the female salesperson, Fu Erdai was like a fish in water. Many brand counters were not in his favor. Fu Erdai didn't have a specific goal, he just followed the female salesperson wherever she went. Originally, Fu Erdai thought that it was good enough that he was willing to spend a lot of money to buy clothes, but after going around in circles, he felt that he knew too little. There are several famous brands, and their whole set costs several $1,000s, which is outrageous. The world of rich people is indeed extraordinary. Even though Fu Erdai now has a balance of 20 million in his bank card, he would definitely be reluctant to spend so much money on buying a set of clothes. But now that he has the richest man's gold card in his hand, it is not the time for the second generation of Fu to be lenient. Dear customer, this is the cheapest counter in this clothing store. Do you have any suitable items? The salesman's voice faded, but his courtesy was never lost. If not, please have a cup of good tea, take a break, and then look at other shops, okay? Damn it. After all this time, it turned out that this guy thought I didn't look like a rich person, so he took me to see the cheap stuff. This is too. Insult. What a blatant insult. Fu Erdai was about to lose his temper, but he still saw the salesperson's respectful and polite attitude, and the key was that he was a good-looking person. Suddenly, most of the fire was extinguished. Perhaps the waiter didn't mean anything else. Didn't I tell you that you would take me to see the most high-end and expensive suits? What's the point of this? The salesperson felt a little embarrassed and said weakly, Sir, I'm sorry, sir. The saleswoman didn't dare to say anything more, her expression and eyes told it all. You don't take me to see those ridiculously expensive clothes because you think I don't look like a rich person, right? I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean it, it's just. The female salesperson began to tremble with fear, fearing to offend the customer, even if he was not a rich person. This is a super high-end service area. Regardless of whether you are rich or not, we must uphold the service attitude of treating customers as God. In addition, the waiters and salespeople here are very good at reading people's expressions and know what kind of people they are and what level of sales they are selling. They are already very familiar with them. This can't be blamed on the salesperson at all. Fu Erdai's attire showed that he was poor, so the female salesperson tried to sell the cheapest things to him. On the one hand, they hope that Fu Erdai can afford it, and on the other hand, they are afraid that the price will be too high and the customer will not be able to afford it, which will hurt their self-esteem. What a vast knowledge there is in sales. Chapter 11: How to relieve worries. Only shopping. It turns out this girl is a kind person. At this time, Fu Erdai looked at the female salesperson with great interest. Her long, delicate black hair is often tied into a ponytail, and paired with her smart work clothes, she shows a unique style. Her white skin is like a freshly peeled egg, her big eyes twinkle as if they can speak, her small red lips stand out against the whiteness of her skin, and a pair of dimples are evenly distributed on both sides of her cheeks. When she smiles slightly, the dimples appear and disappear on her cheeks, making her as cute as an angel. Fu Erdai was sure that this was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen except for the fairy sister. So beautiful. She is beautiful and kind-hearted, how can other women survive? Seeing Fu Erdai staring at her, the female salesperson panicked. She is only 19 years old and has little work experience, although there are usually many people pursuing her. But no one could last more than 3 seconds without being electrocuted by her or retreating on their own. The man in front of me. He acted strangely when he came in. He didn't look like a rich man, but his tone was even more arrogant than a rich man. Now he was staring at me like this. What was he trying to do? Satyr. This word suddenly flashed through the beautiful saleswoman's mind, and she was so scared that her face turned red, just like a ripe peach, which made people laugh and want to eat it in one bite. Why are you looking at me like that? Aren't you supposed to be looking at clothes? The beautiful saleswoman finally plucked up the courage to change the subject and avoid the embarrassment. Lost my composure. Lost my composure. How dare you say that? Who asked you to show me this kind of rubbish? I hate it. If I don't look at you, what should I look at? You're the only one here who can look decent and not hurt my eyes. Oh my God. Fortunately, I was smart, otherwise I would have been embarrassed. Although I was moved, I just didn't show it. You can cut off your head, but you can't lose your dignity. That was a close call. The female salesperson was confused again. This guy is really obsessed with face, so annoying. It's too difficult. The female salesperson was wondering whether to send Fu Erdai away. What? Now of course you are taking me to see the most high-end clothing sets. Fu Erdai didn't want to play this kind of emotional drama anymore, so he directly took out the gold card given by Fang Tingmai. As the gold card came out, it sparkled under the light, illuminating the beautiful face of the female salesperson. The beautiful female salesperson was completely amazed by the gold card. Gold card. Golden Globe Limited Edition Gold Card. There are only 888 of them in the world, and each owner is either rich or noble. A gold card that you can't get even if you have money. It can be said that rich people may not necessarily have a gold card, but those who have a gold card are definitely rich and powerful. The saleswoman was not surprised to see the gold card appear in this super shopping mall. After all, this is the most powerful super shopping mall in the country that never sleeps, and countless dignitaries come here. But the saleswoman really couldn't understand why the gold card appeared in the hands of such a young man dressed in rags. This guy is obviously not poor and has a gold card, so why does he dress like this and look so young? That's right. This gold card should not be his, but the family elder's. I don't know how this guy secretly took it out to swipe it, and begged for it. Never mind, since he is a rich second generation, let him do as he wishes. I'm so sorry for offending you just now. Now I will follow your request and take you to see the most upscale area of the venue. The female salesperson really deserves to be recognized for the rigorous training she received, as she was able to regain her proper service attitude and expression so quickly. Sir, please. Soon, the female salesperson brought Fu Erdai to the most upscale area of the venue. Looking at the price tags of the clothing sets in the 1,000-year-old golden Nanmu wood and gold inlaid wardrobe, even the second-generation Fu, who is now worth 20 million, was shocked. The Emperor Dragon set has a starting price of 10 million and is the only one in the world. This is just the starting price. Damn it, is this something a human should wear? Donakaran men's suit, 3 million. LV men's suit, 3 million. This shocking price tag made Fu Erdai very happy. It was so exciting. Just like the first night. Sir, are you okay? Would you like to sit down and have a rest? The female salesperson saw that Representative Fu too looked strange and asked with concern. After all, this guy is always so different from ordinary people. It is difficult to guarantee that he is a normal and healthy person. We must pay more attention to him. I'm fine, but you're going to be in trouble soon. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, the female salesperson was confused. I'm working properly, what could happen? Go. Buy everything you can in this high-end area. Puff. Wrap it all up. The saleswoman was a little scared. What? Sir, did I hear you right? This high-end area is all included. Even though there are only about 10 units, they are worth tens of millions. You heard me right, and you thought right. I am just a nouveau riche, the kind that is lawless. Sir, how about you sit down, have some tea, think it over, and then decide. If you don't calm down, I will calm down too. It's true that it's the eunuch who is anxious even though the emperor is not. The female salesperson gave Fu Erdai such a surprise that he turned it into a shock. Wrap it all up. Since the opening, no one has ever bought all the goods in this high-end area. Firstly, it's expensive. Too expensive. Secondly, it may not be suitable. Sometimes, suitability has nothing to do with size. If the size is not suitable, it can be changed. Rich people pay more attention to temperament when buying clothes. This high-end area has different designs to cater to different dignitaries. In other words, every set of high-end products here is different, and no matter how versatile a person is, it is impossible for them to be suitable for all. No one would buy clothes that don't fit, let alone ones that cost millions. How can there be such a person? He takes care of everything as soon as he opens his mouth. Scared to death. That's fine. Let's have some tea first. Fu Erdai also felt a little thirsty. Call. The beautiful female salesperson finally felt that Fu Erdai was normal for once. Oh. I forgot to mention, also pack up all the clothing in the most upscale section for women. Puff puff puff. The beautiful female salesperson was almost knocked down by Fu Erdai's words. I just felt that Fu Erdai was normal for once, but this guy is actually addicted to his abnormality. If Fu Erdai didn't have the gold card, I would really suspect that this guy had escaped from a mental hospital. But the female salesperson was still very envious. I really envy this guy's girlfriend for having a boyfriend who is so willing to spend money on her. Shopping is a woman's nature. If you ask how to relieve women's worries, it must be shopping. Having this man in life is enough. In order to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, the beautiful female salesperson kindly reminded Fu Erdai again. Sir, do you really want to do what you said? It will cost hundreds of millions of yuan. Spending hundreds of millions on clothes at one time. Even in this industry, the most experienced female salesperson begins to doubt her life. So luxurious. Chapter 12. I want to chase you. That's a must, otherwise how can I earn commission from you, the beautiful lady? Fu Erdai was not shy at all and just stared at the female salesperson. The intention is about to be exposed. You? This guy bought all the clothes in the high-end section just to make a commission from me. It's impossible. Absolutely not. This kind of rich second generation is the most philandering. He must want to tease me. I can't be fooled. I must hold my ground. Although she thought so, the female salesperson was still very happy. After all, no one has too much money, and it is always good to earn more. Otherwise, what is the point of working so hard? Isn't it just to make more money? Sir, you are such a joker, but since you have decided to buy all the clothes in this high-end area, we are more than happy to oblige. No kidding. Fu Erdai has no scruples about his words and deeds. He is so straightforward and always speaks to the point. Anyway, I have a gold card in my hand now, and I am definitely a nouveau riche with more money than I can spend. Having money means you can do what you want. Har. You are so humorous, sir. The female salesperson changed the subject. Excuse me, how old is your girlfriend? How tall is she? What are her measurements? Please let me know so that we can modify the size of her clothes. My height, weight and measurements are the same as yours. Fu Erdai said with a smile. Same as me. He smiles so meanly, I have a bad feeling about this. Could it be that this guy bought all the clothes in the high-end women's clothing area because, for some reason, the saleswoman came up with a ridiculous idea? No. No. That's impossible. We have never met before and this is the first time we meet. This guy's girlfriend must have a similar body shape to mine, which is why she wanted to alter her clothes to my size. Hateful. I almost got fooled, it's so embarrassing. Jean Meili, oh Jean Meili, what happened to you today? You are just dreaming nonsense. You have to remember that you are just a working kid, stop daydreaming. Although it's a long story, it was just a thought of the saleswoman. After calming down, the saleswoman Jean Meili confirmed with Fu Erdai again out of instinct in the service industry. Sir, are you sure that my body size is the same as your girlfriend's? Otherwise, if you want to modify the clothes again after they have been altered once, the effect will be greatly reduced. I am very sure, because I bought the women's clothing in the high-end area just to give it to you, Miss Jean Meili. I hope you can accept it and just treat it as making friends. There is no other intention. Is that okay? This time, Fu Erdai was no longer nonchalant, but behaved very sincerely, like a gentleman, polite and well-mannered. After these words were spoken, Jinmei felt as if struck by lightning and was slow to react. Although he had thought that Fu Erdai would do such an incredible thing, he quickly rejected it. Clothes worth more than 50 million yuan. It's impossible to just give it to a girl you don't know, no matter how beautiful she is, right? Unless there really is such a madman as mentioned in the legend, who loves beauty more than the throne. Now this legend has come true, right before your eyes. What is more important is that this guy gave me more than 50 million. Am I dreaming? Jinmei had good reason to suspect that she was daydreaming. Hearing that pain could interpret dreams, Jinmei crossed her arms without hesitation and pinched her hands hard. Pain. I'm not dreaming. That's true. Oh my god. Although I am good looking and have a good figure, I am not stunningly beautiful enough, right? Impossible, absolutely impossible. This guy has never been normal. He must be making fun of me. Damn it. Har har. Sir, you are really funny, but please don't make fun of me all the time. Although I am just a waiter working part-time, we workers also have backbone and professional qualities. What's going on? I gave her a big gift out of kindness, but she thought I was a playboy who flirted with her. Is there any justice in the world? Waiter Jinmei, number 9537, please ask your manager to come over. I want to pay the bill as I just said. I have reason to believe that you cannot win this deal. Fu Erdai's face straightened and his tone became a little stiff. If the transaction is completed based on Fu Erdai's order volume, then Fu Erdai will become the super VIP of their shopping mall, and they must not offend him. Sir, please calm down. That's not what I meant. I was just afraid that you would suffer, so I said those things impulsively. Please give Jinmei another chance to serve you. I will do my best and will never be vague again. While speaking, Jinmei bent her waist very low. She was very worried that if Fu Erdai went to see the manager because of her, it would mean that her service made the customers dissatisfied and she would be punished. But more importantly, it is the psychological reaction of the waiter himself. After all, good waiters are very professional, and to them, it is not an exaggeration to say that customers are God. Fu Erdai couldn't bear to see Jinmei being so frightened by his casual words that she didn't dare to breathe. Apart from anything else, Jinmei is already considered the best in the service industry. He has good intentions and is afraid that customers will suffer losses. Even if he does not take commission, he will only recommend suitable and inexpensive products. There are very few waiters with such a conscience. How could Fu Erdai be so cruel as to find fault with her? My tone just now was a little harsh, but it was just an act. As a grown man, I should show my masculinity. I didn't mean to blame anyone at all. I can give you a chance, but you must accept the gift I am about to give you. If I say you can afford it, then you can afford it. This person. Jinmei slowly raised her head and looked at a man so carefully for the first time. Or perhaps, for the first time, there was a man who was worth her careful attention. His three-dimensional facial features were as handsome as if they were carved with a knife, and his whole body exuded an aura of a warm man who was strong but not evil. On his evil and handsome face, there was a hint of unrestrained seriousness. He has fair skin, delicate features with a touch of handsomeness, and handsomeness with a touch of gentleness. The temperament he exudes is so complex, like a mixture of various temperaments, but in that gentleness and handsomeness, he also has his own unique ethereal and handsomeness. He is handsome and rich. Doesn't this guy have any flaws? If you really want to find shortcomings, there are none. At least, that's what it looks like. Why? After a long time, Jinmei dared to ask softly. She really wanted to know the answer, even if the other party was lying. Because you are beautiful and kind-hearted, I want to pursue you. Fu Erdai said this very seriously. It is more serious and more diligent than before when I had to clean the toilet just to get a meal. For a long time, the two of them remained silent, just staring at each other. Chapter 13. I want to pursue you because you have a boyfriend. Sir, excuse me, I have a boyfriend. Jinmei smiled beautifully. One smile is enough to conquer a city, another smile is enough to conquer a country, and a third smile is enough to make someone commit a crime. These words are the most appropriate to describe Jinmei now. I could think of it, so I came after you. A confident smile flashed across Fu Erdai's lips. I have to snatch you from your boyfriend. Only then will I feel a sense of accomplishment, and it will also show my true feelings for you. Puff. This guy is not only confident but also very funny, and his turns are so unexpected. Junmei felt that her own brain circuits were no longer enough. To be honest, the development of this matter has far exceeded her expectations. Thinking of Fu Erdai's super confident look just now, she didn't know what to say. Junmei was speechless and even had an urge to vomit blood. I made up an excuse that I had a boyfriend to try to persuade him to quit. Not only did he not show any intention of backing down, he even used his twisted logic to outwit me. So depressed. Isn't he too eloquent? Why does it sound like being a mistress and snatching someone else's girlfriend is such an honorable thing? What kind of perverse logic is this? It's amazing. Junmei really didn't know what to say this time. Whenever someone tried to flirt with her, Junmei would use the fact that she had a boyfriend to dissuade them, and it always worked. Meeting Fu Erdai today really broke the normal record and left Junmei helpless. I can only utter this sentence with difficulty. Sir, please stop joking. I'm still working. I'm not kidding. The fact that you have a boyfriend shows that you are very charming and popular. It also proves that I have good taste and that I was able to choose you among so many people. If you didn't have a boyfriend, I really wouldn't like you, and I wouldn't go to such great lengths to pursue you. This. When Junmei saw how serious Fu Erdai was and how he wanted to defeat her, she felt so nervous that her heart felt like a deer was jumping around. Oh no, this is a heart-pounding feeling. Fu Erdai is handsome, otherwise he wouldn't be called the school idol. He is rich and tall, rich and handsome. Now he has launched an unprecedented fierce offensive against Junmei. Not to mention the inexperienced Junmei, even an ordinary experienced person cannot resist Fu Erdai. It's not that Junmei lacks self-control, but that Fu Erdai is too strong. Have no choice. But it is mixed with a bit of obsession. Immersed in the joy of Fu Erdai pursuing her at all costs. As for girls, which one doesn't like to be praised by men, especially handsome guys? Every compliment goes a long way. It's just that a girl should be reserved and not show it that way. Why do you think you can catch me? It was like breaking the mixed feelings, her heart was complicated. Junmei didn't know why she asked such a question for the first time. Because I have their money ability in martial arts, their wealth in literature, and I am always rich and confident in doing things. I also make many friends and get close to people with my wealth. What reason do you have to reject a man as perfect and beautiful as me? Fu Erdai said seriously. Puff. Could this guy be any more shameless? The term ganjiao, a shameless person is invincible in the world, was created for him. No matter how rich you are, you can't show off like this, right? Has this man's modesty been eaten by a dog? Oh my God. Please save me. Who on earth was this person that I met today? Junmei really didn't know how to deal with it this time. I have tried all the possible methods and almost got myself killed. Sudden. There was a noise coming from not far away, like a troublesome wind, blowing closer and closer. Get out of here. I need Junmei to serve me. Ask her to come over here immediately. I am the VIP guest of this place and you cannot refuse me. Boss Long. I'm so sorry, Junmei is already serving other VIPs and may not be able to leave for the moment. The noise alarmed Fu Erdai and Junmei at the same time. Looking in the direction of the sound, Fu Erdai saw a fat-headed and greasy-faced man, about 30 or 40 years old, walking towards him in a hurry. What's going on? It seems like he's looking for you. Your boyfriend. Why is he an uncle? The age gap is 2. Although his good time was interrupted, Fu Erdai was not annoyed. Instead, he started to make fun of Junmei with great interest. Although he was laughing, Fu Erdai was also like a jealous person, feeling unhappy inside and out. The woman he liked seemed to be entangled with a big man. Junmei's perfect image suddenly dropped to the freezing point in Fu Erdai's heart. Disappointment. Fu Erdai suddenly felt heartbroken again. This feeling is so uncomfortable. But what can we do? It's our fault for not meeting each other earlier. We can only sigh in vain. Well. What a pity. Such a beautiful lady. Sir. Please respect yourself. Junmei was rarely embarrassed and a little angry. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. He is not my boyfriend, and I don't have a boyfriend. After hearing this, Fu Erdai was stunned. What? So you don't have a boyfriend? Har har. Fu Erdai suddenly jumped back from the freezing point to the enthusiastic desert and started to dance square dance. He was as happy as he could be. Now he would have no hesitation in asking him to go to the grave to dance at midnight. Jin Meili. Shocking. Oops, it's exposed. This guy. Isn't it just that you don't have a boyfriend? What does it have to do with you? Is there any need to be so happy? Jin Meili's face darkened, and she really wanted to give Fu Erdai a good beating on the head. Fu Erdai did not answer directly, but gave Jin Meili a meaningful expression. Jin Meili was horrified by what she saw. What are you doing? Even if I don't have a boyfriend, there's no way I'd like you, a playboy who uses money to buy affection. Just give up on me, humph. Jin Meili said breathlessly. After saying this, Jin Meili regretted it again. She was afraid of offending the guest, Fu Erdai. But I was also afraid of hurting Fu Erdai's feelings. Anyway, it's very confusing. Not daring to look directly at him, Jin Meili could only glance at Fu Erdai out of the corner of her eye. Oops. If this guy isn't furious, then he must be sad. What to do? What to do? Do you want to comfort him? Actually, this guy is quite nice. Although his way of speaking is a little abnormal, he might really be sincere in giving me 50 million at once. I might really be sad by saying bad things about him. It's better to comfort him, otherwise what if he jumps off the building? So scary. Jin Meili had just looked at Fu Erdai and didn't have time to say a word of comfort. Ms. Jin Meili, don't be afraid. With me here, no one dares to bother you anymore. This is comfort, very heartwarming comfort. What are you doing? It was clearly me who made him sad, but he turned around and comforted me. Jin Meili was not only surprised, but also full of warmth. It turns out that this guy is not only a nouveau riche scumbag, but he also has such a warm side. Chapter 14, What the Truth Is. Why are you looking at me stupidly? We are already in the same boat, so we must advance and retreat together. Send away the guy who disturbed our love talk first. Someone is here to cause trouble, and now it's time to have fun again. The second generation of Fu said he was very happy. Bar. Who wants to talk about love with you? Jin Meili is like a shy pretty lady. She really doesn't want to have anything to do with this guy Fu Erdai. She is really afraid that outsiders will misunderstand her and that the more she explains, the worse it gets. She won't be able to clear herself even if she jumps into the Yellow River. I am still a virgin and cannot bear this blow, it is too fatal. Tell me quickly where this guy came from. Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you win every battle. Fu Erdai has shifted his attention from Jin Meili to Boss Long, who is rushing over. Jin Meili. Has this guy lost interest in me? He was chasing me to death just now. Hateful. What a playboy. You really can't trust what men say. I would rather believe that there are ghosts in the world than believe what a man says. So angry. He was glaring and obviously angry. That's Mr. Long, the boss of my sister-in-law's leather factory. He's worth over 100 million yuan and is an old acquaintance of our mall. Like you, he's very rich and generous. Jin Meili said angrily. It is obvious that this is the aftereffect of being ignored by Fu Erdai. Let us fight, it would be best if we fight to the death, then you don't have to bother me all day long. Jin Meili has always been like a big star. Wherever she goes, she is surrounded by the aura of the protagonist, even when she is a waitress. He had never been ignored like he is now, and he was the one who spent hundreds of billions on him just a moment ago. Now this person actually ignores me for an old guy, which really makes me angry. But looking at this guy's serious expression, he looks even more handsome, a mature and steady handsomeness. Cough cough. Overthinking. Judging from his expression, this guy must have been intimidated by Boss Long's aura. Right. It must be like this. As expected, Huang Po was bragging about her melons, but after that she was defeated by something else. You deserve it. Sister-in-law's leather factory. Didn't the boss run away with my sister-in-law because of bankruptcy? Fu Erdai asked with great interest, completely ignoring Jin Meili's change of attitude. Puff. Jin Meili acted like she wanted to vomit blood. That's the charm of the advertisement. Can you believe it? You are pig. Jinmei proudly criticized Fu Erdai. I finally got rid of my anger about being ignored. It felt so good. What do women know? I'm saying he's about to be driven into bankruptcy. Fu Erdai was too lazy to explain to Jinmei and just gave her a strange and tough look. Be fierce to me. This guy actually dared to be so mean to me. Go ahead and be fierce. When you're done being fierce, I'll be my little darling. Jinmei felt aggrieved. I thought that my coquettishness would help me get back on track, but I didn't expect that Fu Erdai had already walked away and went to meet Boss Long. Jinmei was left with a look of shock on her face, with a myriad of thoughts in her mind. Just leave me so easily. Is this guy really the one who just spent tens of millions on me? At this moment, Jinmei was feeling a tangled mess of separation, with a mixture of emotions in her heart. The second generation Fu and Boss Long are getting closer and closer. It can be said that when two people meet on the same road, the one with more money wins. As he got closer, Fu Erdai noticed the appearance of Boss Long. Boss Long was a big man with dark yellow complexion, and he also walked over quickly with a righteous look on his face. It looked like he was in a hurry to be reincarnated. At this time, the big black man also saw Jinmei, and noticed that Fu Erdai and Jinmei were relatively close before, so he thought that Fu Erdai was also one of Jinmei's suitors. This guy's eyes were as sharp as a torch, as if he could see through Fu Erdai. Love rival. Boyfriend? These two words flashed in Boss Long's mind. Jinmei, such a good girl, shouldn't have anything to do with this poor boy who wears tattered clothes, right? Absolutely impossible. This guy must be the one who is pestering Jinmei. It's so shameful. I must teach him a lesson. This way, he could act noble in front of Jinmei, and move her so that she could be carried to bed. Boss Long had already pressed Jinmei down on the bed and entered. Of course, it's just a fantasy. How to treat him? These guys are just like me, they are here to pursue Jinmei. We cannot act too vulgar or violent, otherwise it will scare the beautiful Jinmei. We have to think of a way to kill this guy without losing our gentlemanly manners. What can we do? Got it. He. Laughing. Seeing Boss Long grinning evilly, Fu Erdai knew that this old man had the same idea as himself. Hello, I, Fu Erdai, am here to pursue Jinmei, just like you, Boss Long. Since we share the same suffering, why don't we shake hands and start the war? Fu Erdai stepped forward and greeted Boss Long with a smile. Get lost. Who wants to share the same suffering with a poor bastard like you? Why don't you take a piss and look at the way you beg? What qualifications do you have to fight me? Boss Long first launched a verbal attack on Fu Erdai, and then began to threaten him unscrupulously. You dare to snatch Miss Jinmei from me? Believe it or not, I will have someone kill you, make meatballs with your flesh, and make soup with your bones. The old-fashioned three-part show-off begins. However, today, for the sake of Miss Jinmei, it is not appropriate to get bloody, so I'm giving you a chance. Get out now. And don't bother Miss Jinmei again in the future. Then I can pretend that nothing happened and let you live this time. Otherwise, I won't let you leave the mall. Wow. This old dog is barking so fiercely. Isn't he afraid of being chopped up and made into dog meat hot pot? Fu Erdai said pointedly. Boy. You think you were born in a bad way and want to go back to your mother's womb to be born again? How dare you be so mad at me? When I killed someone, you were still breastfeeding. You don't see the reality clearly. I am the big boss of my aunt's company, worth hundreds of millions. What qualifications do you have to snatch me away? Just look at your ragged beggar clothes. You can't even afford to eat, just jump off the building and die. You can't even dream of what I have, so I'm too lazy to talk about it. Let's be realistic. I have an undying love for Jinmei. Do you have the same love for her? Your playboy has already been made into soup, right? You old thing, you still want to eat tender grass, aren't you afraid of dying of kidney failure? What era is this? How much is sincerity worth? It's just stupid. After cursing, Boss Long also murmured with some regret, this boy looks quite handsome, but I didn't expect that his brain is not so good. What are you mumbling about? Speak out loud if you dare. Seeing that Fu Erdai seemed to have the urge to lose his temper and rush up to fight, the boss was a little scared. If this guy really doesn't care about his life, it may seem like he won't lose in a one-on-one fight, but he is rich and delicate, so even a little injury would be a huge loss. As the saying goes, good people are afraid of bad people, and bad people are afraid of those who don't care about their lives. We can't fight him head on. I'll find someone to kill him and save trouble. We can't suffer a loss now. After a mental struggle, Boss Long quickly explained, "What am I mumbling about? I heard everything. Strong and determined to fight to the death. Don't scare me. I have a lot of people outside. A mouthful of water from each of them can drown you. Calm down. I was just mumbling casually. I didn't mean to scold you." "So what exactly did you whisper just now?" Fu Erdai still refused to give in and had no intention of letting it go. "I just said you're mentally ill. Is there something wrong? I don't care about such vulgar words. I'm asking what you muttered last time." Previous sentence. "Yes, let me ask you what you muttered last time." Seeing Fu Erdai's reaction, the boss was a little confused, and then asked tentatively, "I said you are handsome. What truth are you talking about?" Giving the other person an encouraging look with appreciation, Fu Erdai sighed softly, "Your words are too true." Before the two of them could react, Fu Erdai showed a modest expression on his face and couldn't help but say, "Since you are so honest, I will be especially lenient with you later." After hearing what Fu Erdai said, the two sales staff and the boss were all stunned. Chapter 15, People Really Can't Be Too Handsome. As for people, you really can't be too handsome, otherwise it's easy to attract other people's attention. Faced with the surprised looks from the boss and the two female salespeople, no matter how thick-skinned Fu Erdai was, he still felt a little embarrassed. "Fool!" Boss Long cursed angrily. "This guy just looked like he was ready to fight just to hear me say he is handsome again. Can this be normal human behavior? You two are both customers. Please be patient. Can you please sit down and discuss it slowly?" Jinmei knew that the two men were quarreling over her and were almost fighting, so she stepped forward to try to persuade them. "Ms. Jinmei, I'm not saying anything bad about you, but this is considered a top-notch shopping mall. Why did you just let a beggar in and cause trouble? Aren't you afraid of scaring off other dignitaries who come here to shop?" Boss Long was frightened by Fu Erdai and he hasn't come to his senses yet. He is furious and doesn't want to get entangled with Fu Erdai anymore, for fear that this guy will fight him to the death, so he has to slander Fu Erdai in front of Jinmei. On the one hand, he hoped to use the manpower of the shopping mall to drive away Fu Erdai. On the other hand, even if he did not drive Fu Erdai away, he could get rid of this annoying thing and then help himself to hook up with Jinmei. It really kills two birds with one stone. The calculation is very precise. "Boss Long, I respect you as a regular customer, so I'm not going to ask you to leave for your mischievous behavior. This gentleman is also here to buy something in our mall. In a sense, you are all equal, so please be more kind-hearted. Otherwise, if you get into trouble, you can't blame me for not reminding you." In order to avoid offending both parties and not wanting Boss Long and Fu Erdai to get more entangled, Jinmei can only try her best to be a peacemaker. However, anyone with a discerning eye can see that Jinmei is already leaning towards Fu Erdai. This touched Fu Erdai a little. How happy it is to have a beautiful woman to help you. The second generation Fu was very happy. On the other hand, the dragon board is about to explode. "Jinmei, don't be ungrateful. I come to help you every day and let you get commissions, but you attack me in front of outsiders. Don't you want to stay in this area anymore? Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you are beautiful and have a good figure. Believe it or not, I will send someone to spy on you right away and make you a man of 10,000 people. Yes. If you dare to offend our Boss Long, you are dead." The salesperson who came with Boss Long had a smug look on his face and echoed Boss Long in threatening Fu Erdai and Jinmei. She had long been dissatisfied with the fact that Jinmei had big bosses coming to her house every day to give her commissions. Especially Boss Long, he comes here every day, I am so envious of him. Now that Jinmei has fallen out of favor with Boss Long, she certainly won't miss the opportunity to add insult to injury. "Boss Long, Jinmei is ungrateful and refuses to serve you. How about I, Xiarna, serve you? I guarantee that every part of your body will be satisfied." While seducing, Xiarna had already laid hands on Boss Long. "Get out of here. You filthy bastard." Boss Long pushed Xiarna to the ground and without even looking at her again, he turned his gaze towards Fu Erdai and Jinmei again. "Jinmei, I'll give you one more chance. Do you want to serve me right now?" Think carefully, otherwise the consequences will be serious. Boss Long should understand the principle of first come first served, so I won't explain it anymore. There are many waiters in our mall, and Boss Long can choose any one he wants. Why bother? I'm really not worth your trouble. I'm also very grateful for your kindness. I hope Boss Long can show mercy. Although Junmei's expression looked different, she still maintained her qualities as a waitress. Fu Erdai also admired this. There are very few people who are so single-minded and not contaminated by the muddy currents of the world. Very good. I like your stubborn temper, Junmei, but today I must have you serve me, even if it means just strolling around this mall. Boss Long's eyes were determined, as if he had made some important decision. I must control you tonight. If soft means don't work, I'll have to use hard means. There was a hint of evil in his determination, which scared Junmei. Could it be that? Junmei was very surprised. Noticing something was wrong, Fu Erdai was very responsible and said to Junmei with a slight smile. Don't worry. I didn't have time to participate in your first half of life, but I will protect you in your second half. It was like giving Junmei a shot of a strong placebo. Looking at the confident Fu Erdai, Junmei felt relieved for some reason. Who is this guy? We've only known each other for one day. No. They didn't know each other at all. They were just a customer and a waiter. Why is he so nice to me? First you bought me expensive clothes, and now you want to fight me head on with Boss Long? This Boss Long is no ordinary person. He has connections both overtly and covertly. He is very difficult to deal with and ruthless. I wonder if the owner of the gold card in his hand can suppress Boss Long. If not, he's dead. No. I can't let him put himself in danger, I have to stop him. Hey! This is me and Boss Long. Junmei was interrupted by Fu Erdai before she could finish her words. This is a contest between our men, women please get out of the way. My kindness is taken for granted. Snort. You're playing the male chauvinist, right? It's up to you. Don't blame me if you die. Angrily once again. Why should I worry about her? Let her die. What does it have to do with me? Not familiar again. Pooh. Yes, I don't know him. At the moment when Junmei was struggling, Boss Long and Fu Erdai approached each other again. Tell me. Boy, what do you want to buy in this mall? I'll catch up with you 10 times faster than you can catch up with me. Then get out of here and don't get in the way of my good time with Junmei. You old man. You want to use the mall's rules to snatch the waiter from me? Aren't you afraid of losing everything? Stop talking nonsense. Since you know the mall has this rule, why don't you get out of here? Do you think a beggar like you wearing rags can afford to buy things in the mall? Of course I know the rules of the mall. Isn't it that the waiter is appointed based on the money? As long as you buy 10 times as much as I do, you can snatch the waiter who is currently serving me from me, and you can also ask the waiter to deliver the goods to your door. Boy. If you know the rules, get out of here. I know you can't even afford a woman's underwear here, and you're just here to pester Junmei. Remember to be careful when you go out. If you're not careful, you won't know. Even if you're careful, I'll kill you. Because you've offended me, it's destined that this day next year will be your death anniversary. I told you, someone's company went bankrupt and he ran away with his sister-in-law. Fu Erdai's words were not only aimed at attacking Boss Long, but also at Junmei, intending to tell her that a joke was about to become reality. The leather factory went bankrupt, and the boss ran away with his sister-in-law. Chapter 16. I regret it so much. Boss Long doesn't know about Fu Erdai's humbleness and is hoping that the pig will eat the tiger, but Junmei knows it. Suddenly, she felt a little bit sorry. After all, although Boss Long is powerful, he is still good to me. He comes to buy things every day and gives me commission. Thinking of this, Junmei wanted to kindly remind Boss Long. Boss Long, you must not. But before Junmei could finish her words, she was interrupted by Boss Long. Junmei, shut up. Don't even think about begging for mercy for that beggar boy. I'm going to kill him first, and then I'll take you. I didn't want to force you, but you don't know what's good for you, so you can't blame me. Rich people are like this. Do you think he likes the sea? You're overthinking. He just likes surfing on the sea. Save your breath. He won't appreciate it. Fu Erdai felt very sympathetic towards Jin Meili. He had also worked in the service industry and had suffered the most. Stop talking nonsense and get me the signed petition. I, Long Moran, will keep my word. Today, I want you, Jin Meili, to accompany me. Not only do you have to serve me, but you also have to sleep with me. Boss Long looked determined to win. For many days and nights, he wanted to sleep with Jin Meili all the time. But Jin Meili was too cautious and never let him get away with it. He didn't dare to take action in the mall because the mall owner was not someone he could afford to offend. So he could only act like a grandson every day, trying to please Jin Mai in every way and tempting Jin Meili to be deceived. As long as he followed her out of the mall, he could sleep with Jin Meili without any scruples, even if he had to use force. If something goes wrong, with his network of connections, it would not be easy to get rid of a salesperson. In the past, Jin Meili served wealthy people, and she couldn't find such a good opportunity to force people to commit crimes. Today, she finally ran into Fu Erdai, who looked like a beggar. How could she let go of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Fu Erdai looked like a beggar. How much money did he have? It was already good enough to be able to buy a pair of socks, so Boss Long dared to use the trick of spending 10 times the money in the mall to snatch the waiter. Under normal circumstances, any rich man would start with tens of millions or even hundreds of millions, and 10 times that would be hundreds of millions or even tens of millions. No matter how rich Boss Long is, he would not be such a sucker for a salesperson. Money doesn't come from the wind. There are so many beauties in the world. He can't hang on to Jin Meili. He just does it for the sake of novelty. Businessmen are the most shrewd. Ms. Jin Meili, go ahead. He is anxious to go bankrupt and run away with his sister-in-law. Fu Erdai also instigated with a gloating look on his face. Jin Meili hesitated for a moment, then looked at Boss Long's disgusting face, and quickly made a decision. A few minutes later, Jin Meili took the signed petition from the front desk. Boss Long took a quick look and after finding that there was no problem, he began to sign. The signed agreement has taken effect. This time, no matter what the second-generation Fu buys, Boss Long will have to pay 10 times the price. Now even if Boss Long goes bankrupt, the signature will still be effective until Boss Long dies. Of course, the content of the signature will take effect only after Fu Erdai actually settles the bill and pays, and it is only valid today. Originally, the quarrel between Fu Erdai and Boss Long had attracted quite a few people to watch. Now seeing how generous Boss Long is, we all give him a thumbs up. All of a sudden, Boss Long became a celebrity. TSK. What's the point of using a beggar boy to amuse yourself? This old man is obviously still lusting after the pretty waitress. He wants to pick a poor boy as a prostitute. He is so shameless. After hearing the truth told by some discerning people, those who had given Boss Long a thumbs up were also very smart and instantly changed the position of their thumbs from up to down. What people say is scary, this is a very real social trend. Kid. Get out of here now and stop embarrassing yourself. After signing, the contract came into effect, and Boss Long looked like he had grasped the victory. Okay, if you want to go bankrupt, I'll help you do it. Fu Erdai stopped talking and asked Jin Meili to find someone to pack up. Just do as I said before, or you'll accuse me of deliberately bullying this old man. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, Boss Long was puzzled, but Jin Meili knew it. I was originally planning to pack up for Fu Erdai, but Boss Long insisted on running into trouble. I can't blame anyone. Okay. I'll ask the waiter to pack it for you right away, sir. After Jin Meili finished speaking, she took out the mall intercom. Hey! The mall's top packing team, come over to the most upscale area right now. Hey! Boy, I didn't expect that a beggar like you could afford to buy something in this mall. You don't even know whether it's a rag or a sock. Don't you think it's embarrassing to be here? If I were you, I would have run away long ago to avoid embarrassing myself here. Boss Long hit him mercilessly, with an expression that looked like he wanted to see Fu Erdai make a fool of himself. The second generation of Fu. Smile. No words. As the saying goes, help the rich, not your relatives. The onlookers began to criticize Fu Erdai. Kid. Get out of here right now. If you dare to fight with Boss Long, you won't even have a place as a beggar in this area. I don't think he can even get out of the door. Who is Boss Long? Is it possible for a beggar like him to offend him? Soon, the mall's top packing team arrived and began packing Fu Erdai's items with a unique high-level packing ceremony. Seeing this scene, everyone started talking about it. Oh my god! This is the rich boss buying the most high-end clothes in the mall, millions of dollars a set. Too extravagant. Isn't it? If I could see who it is, I would definitely hunt him down. Don't be so embarrassed. Can a slut like you afford to buy clothes worth millions? It has to be me. Bar. Bitch. These people didn't know who their buyer was, but Boss Long had been in the business world for many years and had become a shrewd man. Thinking back to what Fu Erdai had just said to the waiter, I suddenly felt a chill on my back and broke out in cold sweats. This kid. How is that possible? He dresses so poorly, how can he afford clothes that cost millions? Impossible. Impossible. Boss Long shook his head desperately. Boss Long, what are you doing? Have you taken too many sticky pills? Fu Erdai said with a smile. You are the clothes from the high-end area that the waiter is packing, the ones you want to buy. Boss Long was so scared that he started stuttering. Well, I want to buy it as a gift, what's wrong? You want it? Beg me. Even if I beg you, I won't give it to you, he sly smile. I want your sister. Boss Long was shaking with anger. You kid want to kill me. I'm warning you, if you dare to do anything, you're dead. If you know what's going on, don't buy anything and get out of here. No. No. Fu Erdai also shook his head. I'm here to buy clothes. If you want to give money to the mall, I can't stop you. Puff. He suddenly felt that Fu Erdai was right. Boss Long's blood was boiling in his chest and his face turned pale. 3 million. 10 times 3 million is 30 million, which is 1/5 of my wealth, and all I have is a set of shabby clothes. I regret it so much. Chapter 17, Finding a woman is not as fun as playing a trick on someone. Boss Long stared at the set of clothes worth more than 3 million yuan, which was exactly what Fu Erdai wanted to buy and was now packing. 10 times 3 million is 30 million. I originally thought that it was done. More than 30 million was still within my acceptable range. But I found that the clothes had been neatly packed and the packer had no intention of leaving. Boss Long became even more panicked. Is this guy going to buy 2 sets? It's impossible. No matter how rich a person is, it's impossible for him to take out 6 million to buy 2 sets of clothes at once. He didn't dare to take his eyes away from the packers, for fear that if he lost his concentration, the packers would pack the brand names on Fu Erdai's wardrobe again. After packing everything, the packer chatted with Jinmeili in a low voice for a while. After Jinmeili nodded repeatedly, the packer left. This time, Boss Long can finally put his mind at ease. The danger was over and Boss Long started to act crazy again. Boy, more than 30 million is like skipping breakfast for me. But you are already a dead man. Fu Erdai didn't care about the old man's threats. He was used to the 3 sets of equipment of the villain. Excuse me, did you have breakfast this morning? You haven't eaten yet. Why? Don't think that you can get away with it just by treating me to breakfast. It's too late to apologize now. Get ready to die. Seeing that Fu Erdai showed signs of giving in, Boss Long started to become arrogant again. It's not that good. Since you didn't eat it, then congratulations, you won't have to eat it for the rest of your life. What? You are so young, but you are even more arrogant than me. You are really a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers. You are destined to die early. Suddenly, Boss Long saw those senior packers coming back. It looks like I didn't bring enough equipment when I packed it. Under Boss Long's surprised gaze, the packer continued with his packing work. No. Impossible. Are those packers helping you pack? Boss Long asked with a stuttering look of surprise. You're so smart. It's a pity there's no reward, for I'm afraid you'll become too proud. Fu Erdai gave him an admiring look. This old guy finally wised up for once, he needs more encouragement. I'm so proud. These 2 sets together cost 6 million. Are you really rich? Boss Long is ready to greet all 18 generations of the Fu family. Speaking of money, I never carry such material possessions with me. Fu Erdai said it very easily. He didn't lie. He didn't have money to bring before, but now he doesn't need to. Call. Boss Long breathed a sigh of relief. Since this guy has no money, he must be bluffing. It won't count if you take the food away, it will only count after you pay the bill. Fu Erdai's answer made Boss Long feel much more at ease. You idiot, why did you ask the waiter to pack your bag if you didn't have money? Don't think you can trick me after you pack it. If you can't pay the bill later, I will charge you a special packing fee and you will lose everything, idiot. I only said I had no money, but I didn't say I didn't want to pay. If you don't have money, you can use a card to pay. Fu Erdai said this lightly, took out Fang Tingmei's gold card, and waved it a few more times in front of Boss Long. Gold card. This time, Boss Long was completely dumbfounded by Fu Erdai. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you had a gold card? If you had told me earlier, we wouldn't have any misunderstandings, right? Now that the joke has gotten out of hand, it's going to be hard to undo. Har har. The expression is super embarrassing. How about I treat you to a big meal at a 9-star hotel, and then hire dozens of girls for your enjoyment as an apology? What do you think? People have to bow their heads in front of absolute wealth, and even Boss Long is no exception. For gold card holders, anyone with a little common sense knows that this is a big tree that cannot be offended, and the holders must be either rich or noble. How can he not bow his head when he is not even qualified to have a fortune worth hundreds of millions? At this moment, his mind was blank and he really wanted to slap himself hard a few times. Why don't you go find some girls to play with when you have nothing to do? Why do you have to come and rob me? Eating and finding girls are just trivial things, but there's nothing as exciting as playing a trick on someone. It has come to this point, no one can let it go easily, let alone the Fu's second generation who hates evil. Hateful. This kid is so ungrateful. There is no other way. If the soft approach doesn't work, then use the hard approach. Good. Since you insist on playing, I will risk my life to accompany you, but I have to warn you, don't be too upright, otherwise it will be easily broken. Oh. You old dog, you can't stop eating shit, right? But it doesn't matter, I don't intend to let you die peacefully anyway. Boy. Although you have a gold card, I am sure that you are not from our H city. Only the richest person in H city, Fang Tingmei, has a gold card. So what? Don't you understand the principle that a powerful dragon cannot suppress a local snake? Then what? Even if you can cripple me and make me lose more than 50 million, I can still prevent you from leaving H city. Why don't we both take a step back and return the packed clothes? I'll pay for the expensive packing fee, and then I'll pay for your food, drinks and entertainment in H city. We can both be happy. How do you think? You want to get rid of me with 50 million? You must be a fool. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, Boss Long instantly felt something was wrong. He looked towards the packing area and found that all the clothes in the highest end area had been packed. At this moment, Boss Long felt dizzy and dark, as if the sky was falling down. Puff. His old, weak and sick body could not bear the weight and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Fuck you. You're throwing up now. I haven't told you yet that I packed up all the clothes in the highest end women's clothing area. Puff. You're so cruel. This time, Boss Long's eyes went dark and he finally fainted on the ground. Hurry up. Boss Long has fainted. Don't call an ambulance. Bring some water to wake him up. Don't let him play dead. Hearing this, the waiter started to get water. The onlookers who came to buy clothes were even more stunned. This counterattack is too scary. A young man dressed like a beggar suddenly took out a gold card and bought all the clothes in the high-end area, which scared a local boss. They actually encountered the kind of melodramatic plot that could only appear in this kind of TV series. That's impossible. These people must be filming a movie in a shopping mall. Yes. This must be the case, otherwise it would be impossible for us to encounter such a ridiculous plot by such a coincidence. Help me find it quickly. The camera is there. I want to audition right here. Who knows, I might be the international superstar tomorrow. A group of spectators, some of them, started posing on the spot, some even took off their clothes and started square dancing, looking as coquettish as they could be. Fu Erdai's eyes widened at the sight. This place looks like a TV drama, it's simply a level 5 movie. Crack. Click, click, click. You are not doing this right, you are taking off too little. The second generation of Fu pretended to be a director in a very professional manner. Wow. So the handsome boy is a director. No wonder he has a gold card. Do you think I look good in my undress? A girl who had taken off very little clothing came over and got entangled with Fu Erdai. It made Fu Erdai hard. Wow. Great stripping. Wonderful stripping. Amazing stripping. Chapter 18. I want to buy the whole mall. At this time, Jin Meili had already brought the water. Go ahead. I'll take responsibility for everything. After dealing with him many times, I found that although Fu Erdai likes to play tricks on people, he is still very reliable. Jin Meili no longer hesitated and directly splashed the water on Boss Long's face. The cold tap water woke Boss Long up. Seeing that it was Jin Meili who threw water at him, Boss Long was furious and said, Jin Meili, you are just a waiter, and you dare to throw water at me. Don't you want to do this job? Believe it or not, I will complain to your manager and have him fire you immediately. You are such a dog that you can't change your bad habits. If you dare to scare me, I will make you faint again. After Fu Erdai finished speaking, he pointed at Boss Long on the ground and started shouting. Someone, come here. Because the show requires it, whoever wants to step on this guy on the ground and make him unconscious, I will give him a big close-up shot, and it will be easy to become famous. Before Fu Erdai could finish his words, a large group of people rushed over and started punching and kicking Boss Long, who was lying on the ground. No. Boss Long only had time to scream before he was knocked unconscious again. Damn it. These people are really crazy about becoming famous. They are not afraid of stepping on someone to death at all. The famous saying that people are afraid of becoming famous just like pigs are afraid of getting fat is not realistic at all. Stop. That's enough. The second generation Fu was not afraid of something happening by stepping on Boss Long to death, but he wanted to keep the old guy to continue playing with. If he died, there would be nothing to play with. It turns out that you still have a conscience. Jin Meili saw Fu Erdai calling for a stop and thought that Fu Erdai couldn't bear to hurt anyone again, so he said that. How much is conscience? It's been eaten by dogs long ago. I called a halt because if he dies, I won't have anything to play with. I'll have one less servant to clean the toilet, which is a pity. Jin Meili. He was completely speechless towards Fu Erdai and really didn't know what to say. Fu Erdai had given her too many surprises and shocks, but her intuition told her that Fu Erdai was not a bad person, he just liked to play, but the way he played was a little. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and splash some water on Boss Long to wake him up. Keep having fun. Although she was very reluctant, Jin Meili still did it for some reason and splashed the dragon board on him again to wake him up. Call your manager, and then have your manager call the owner of your mall and tell him that the richest man in H City wants to buy the Nevernite Super Shopping Mall. What? Buy this Nevernite Super Plaza. Boss Long no longer dared to calculate how much this Nevernite Super Plaza would be worth if it had 10 times its total price. He only knew that even if he sold himself, it would not be enough to compensate. Only then did he understand why some people would rather die and be done with it than live a good life. At this moment, he wanted to die and be done with it. Damn, what kind of lunatic is this? Just buy clothes. Why do you want to buy out the entire shopping mall? It's one of the best supermarkets in the country. Why are you going to make such a fuss? Are we still allowed to live? Can ordinary people afford shopping malls? If you ask me to pay you back tenfold, I might as well die. This time, Boss Long was frightened to death. Not only Boss Long, but even Jin Meili, a bystander, was frightened by these words. Bought this Nevernite Super Plaza. Although she didn't know how much this super mall was worth, she heard that it was at least hundreds of billions. Hundreds of billions. This guy just casually said he wanted to buy something that had only appeared in words or numbers in his life. If someone else didn't know this guy a little bit, they would definitely call him a lunatic and might even call the mental hospital for help. How come this person is full of drama? And it always makes people breathless. It's a pity not to act. Which one, boss? Jin Meili was completely frightened by Fu Erdai's arrogance and called him boss. This is a serious matter. Let's go back and discuss it with our elders, okay? This was a kind reminder. She was really afraid that Fu Erdai would make a mistake, with disastrous consequences. This isn't something that can be accomplished with just money, it requires a lot of money. Of course the elders will obey me, otherwise they would not have given me the gold card to play with. Just follow my instructions, you won't suffer any loss anyway, and you will definitely reach the pinnacle of life if you follow me in the future. This makes so much sense that I was speechless to refute it. Jinmei only then realized that her IQ had been suppressed since she met Fu Erdai. Okay. I'll try to contact the manager. Can you tell me why you want to buy the mall? This is a huge decision. This isn't a big decision. The main purpose of buying the mall is to embarrass Boss Long, push the game to a climax, and then hire him to clean the toilet. Puff. This answer made Jinmei spit out saliva on the spot. Are you kidding me? Is this person only interested in having fun? Bought a shopping mall just to play a prank on someone in a real-life game. Jinmei felt that she was about to have a concussion from the shock of Fu Erdai's actions. Excuse me, sir. I lost my composure. It's okay. It's a great blessing in life to make you lose your composure. Who made me like you? Call the manager quickly. You've wasted enough time. All right. Jinmei then took out her cell phone from her pocket with trembling hands and dialed her manager's number. Hello. Manager Wang. It's me, Xiaojun. What's the emergency calling you during work hours? It's like this. This matter. Jinmei really didn't know how to say it. It is said that a young man came to buy the shopping mall. Will the manager believe it? If it were me, it would just be a joke. She had already prepared herself for a barrage of scolding. What the hell is going on? There was a young man in the mall who said he wanted to buy our mall. Xiaojun. Are you feeling a lot of pressure at work lately? Manager, that's not the case. So you didn't sleep well? No. Are you sick? Want to take a leave? It's really not my business. It's not your business, why don't you hurry up and get back to work? You have so much free time to call and tell jokes. Do you believe I will deduct your salary and bonus? There should be a limit to joking. It's working hours, why are you calling and telling jokes? You are so bored, aren't you? Go clean the toilet, hang up. Manager, please don't. There really is someone in the mall who wants to buy it. If there really is such a person, he must be a fool. Can't you tell a fool apart? Are you a fool too? Give me the phone. Without waiting for Jinmei's response, Fu Erdai took the phone from Jinmei. Manager Wang, right. Who are you? How did Xiaojun's phone end up in your hands? I am the fool you said wanted to buy a shopping mall, but I have already copied you, so pack up and get ready to leave. Beep. Fu Erdai hung up the phone directly. This manager was not worthy of discussing cooperation with him. Chapter 19. It is better to be famous. What's going on? A manager, was fired by a salesperson. On the other end of the phone, Manager 1 was a little confused. Did I really meet a fool? Jinmei is really something. She is making fun of me with a fool. Are you kidding me? This manager will fire you directly. Ding dong bada. Jinmei's cell phone rang and there was a text message. It's Manager Wang. It's over. I'm definitely going to be punished, but I don't know whether it's my bonus or commission that's being deducted. Jinmei carefully opened the text message and read it softly. You've been fired. Pack up your things and leave. Someone from the HR department will notify you about the handover later. Oh shit. I'm fired now. Although she was prepared for punishment, Jinmei never expected to be fired. Was I fired just because of a customer who was completely clueless? How ridiculous. Looking at the screen of her mobile phone, Jinmei really wanted to beat up Fu Erdai. Jinmei's anger could be felt even from several meters away. You filthy fellow got me fired. Are you happy now? You pissed me off. Anyway, I have lost my job and there is no need for any professional ethics anymore, so forget it. This is human nature. Why are you so angry? Just treat what Manager Wang said as nonsense. I'll make her kneel down and beg you later. Fu Erdai said confidently. Are you serious? Jinmei had already fallen under the spell of Fu Erdai and had unknowingly fallen into his trap. She didn't know why, and she didn't dare to ask, for fear that Fu Erdai would misunderstand and treat her abnormally. At this time, Fu Erdai had already taken out his phone and dialed. Hello. Is this the cooperation department of the Nevernight Super Plaza? Find someone who can make the decision to answer the phone. The richest man in H City is coming to buy the entire Nevernight Super Plaza. There was silence on the other end of the line for a while. In a super mall like Bai City, phone numbers seeking cooperation can be found everywhere, and Fu Erdai can find them easily. Although there was silence on the phone, the person on the other end was extremely busy at this moment. Quick! Check the surveillance cameras to see if Fang Tingmai, the richest woman in H City, is currently inside our Nevernight Super Plaza. Good. I see. Hey, sir, could you please go to the conference room on the 18th floor to discuss with the richest man? Don't bother with that. Find someone who can make the decision and bring the contract over. I'll pay the money and you can pay the shopping mall. As for the price, you can decide. We are all in the industry and you know what to do. Also, the richest woman is busy, so don't alarm her. I'll complete the whole deal by myself. The person on the other end of the phone hesitated. Sir, could you give us a quarter of an hour to hold an emergency meeting? Call me back in 10 minutes. Beep. After hanging up the phone, Fu Erdai looked at Boss Long, who had fainted several times on the ground and had lost interest. However, the crowd watching became more and more interested in Fu Erdai. Wow! The handsome boy is really a great director. Want a date? Be more humble and low-key. Fu Erdai pretended to be calm. Why be so modest? He even bought it in the mall. If it wasn't for a movie, how could he be so extravagant? Damn it! What's going on? I really want to buy them all. How did it become a movie? A group of powerful women became crazy about Fu Erdai, and the situation got out of control and was simply unbearable to watch. What are you all doing? Fu Erdai felt a little regretful. It turned out that one should not be too famous. But since I have become famous for no apparent reason, of course I have to do something famous. Hunting for beauty is one of the main occupations of celebrities. Then you who has an oval face, come here and let me try your cherry lips. The woman kissed Fu Erdai without hesitation. The kiss was so serious and skillful. But he had bad breath, which almost suffocated Fu Erdai. Pushing the woman away, Fu Erdai criticized her harshly. No. You have bad breath. Next one. Who then? Let me see your slim waist. Fu Erdai pointed at a beautiful woman with a curvy figure and gestured. Thank you, director, for the opportunity. The beauty seduced Fu Erdai with words while twisting her devilish figure as she approached him, starting the Panlong mode. At this time, many powerful women could no longer stand it and took the initiative to attack Fu Erdai. Director, I want to try too, please give me a chance. Director handsome. I want you to get to know me better, too. Is that okay? Suddenly, Fu Erdai became a weed among a sea of flowers. So shy. So embarrassing. Hateful. Jin Meili, who was pushed aside by the crowd, was so angry when she saw Fu Erdai having fun. It turns out that he is as extravagant as the rich second generation. I will never trust a man again. Pervert. There is no cure. Hum. 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 Ding dong 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 clang. Fu Erdai's cell phone suddenly rang. Stop. I'm going to take a call. Find a place and pose while I get to know you better. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, these crazy girls who wanted to be famous dispersed again and looked for places to pose. The crowd dispersed and Fu Erdai answered the phone. Hello. Hello, sir. We have reached a conclusion after the remote board meeting. Go on. If you want to buy the H City Nevernight Super Plaza. So much bullshit, how much is it? Sir, you are such a straightforward person. The board of directors has decided that if you are willing to pay 100 billion, we will sell the H City Nevernight Super Plaza and everything we have now to you. 100 billion. Deal. Anyway, the money is not his, so Fu Erdai 1T feels sad. His only worry now is whether there is 100 billion in Fang Tingmai's gold card. But since it is the gold card of the richest man in H City, it must be worth 100 billion. Okay, then please wait a moment, sir. We will send someone to deliver the contract to you right away and then sign it. It has to be quick and simple. I don't want a long speech. It's best to just sign your name. Okay, we'll arrange it right away, but I'd like to ask, sir, how about the funding? A dishonest businessman is a dishonest businessman, and 2 out of 3 sentences he talks about are about money. The second generation of Fu is too lazy to complain, society is just like that. Just transfer the money, no need to worry. Okay, sir, please wait a moment, we will arrange it right away. Beep. The phone hung up. Since I've even bought a shopping mall, why not buy a few more houses for fun? Fu Erdai did what he said. He randomly looked up a relatively famous house in H city on the internet and started making phone calls. Hello. This is DeLone Garden in the city center. How can I help you? Prepare for me. Chapter 20, Money doesn't matter, happiness is the main thing. The entire handover process of purchasing the shopping mall was very simple, as long as the money was in place. After the handover, Fu Erdai has become the boss of this Nevernight super shopping plaza. At the age of 23, he already owns one of the best super malls in the country. It is absolutely unprecedented and will never be surpassed. Jean Meili was a witness to the whole incident. I was stunned at this moment. I couldn't utter a word for a long time. This guy actually bought the shopping mall. It's crazy. Hello, boss. I am the former general manager of the mall. I hope to have the opportunity to talk to you about the operation of this mall and the personnel transfer. No need. No matter before, now or in the future, you are the general manager of the mall. You should still do what you did before. Fu Erdai has no other choice but to do this. He was only 23 years old and knew nothing, let alone running such a big shopping mall. Plus, the general manager has been in the job for many years. Under his management, the mall must be making profits, otherwise it wouldn't be so popular. For both public and private reasons, there shouldn't be too many changes in shopping mall personnel. Thank you, boss, for giving me this opportunity. I will definitely live up to your high expectations. No problem. If you work under me, your treatment will definitely be better than before. Your salary as the general manager will be increased by 10% from now on. Thank you, boss. I will go through fire and water and do whatever it takes to run the mall. There is no need to go through fire and water, just do what you should do, and we will work together. Yes, my subordinates will devote themselves to the business world until their death. Boss. At this time, Boss Long woke up again, and heard in a daze that the general manager called for the second generation boss. He wanted to die. Is this guy a monster? He actually bought such a huge super plaza. If he really followed the previous bet and paid 10 times the price that Fu Erdai paid for it, not to mention his hundreds of millions of dollars in assets, he might not be able to fill this huge hole even if he worked hard for thousands of years. He also thought about shirking his responsibilities, but he had already signed the contract, and he would be caught even if he went to heaven or hell. If clearing out the family property is not enough, one must sell oneself. Imagine if you could survive in the hands of Fu Erdai, a master of tricks. It would probably be more painful than death. Now, Boss Long only feels that the world is dark. Oh my god. Why would I mess with this monster if I have nothing to do? Some people play it like this. I won't live anymore. Boss Long began to look around, looking for a dead end. Old man, you finally woke up. Congratulations. Fu Erdai was like a weasel greeting a chicken. Excuse me, do you want to pay in cash now? Or do you want to pay for your body? It cost me 100 billion to buy the mall, and 10 times 100 billion is 1 trillion. Now the mall is mine, and I can make 90 million by selling it to you. Thank you, boss, and give me the money. The second generation Fu actually reached out to Boss Long for money. 1 trillion. 1 trillion. How do I pay? I have 1 trillion, do I still need to play in the mud in this small city of H? Have you been planning to punish me for a long time? You are not a human being. I won't play with you anymore. 55. The crying begins. No money. That's all I can do. Sell yourself. The money is not important. What's important is to have fun. Fu Erdai then turned to the general manager. Find someone to tear down the company of Boss Long's aunt, confiscate the family property and mortgage it, then throw him into the toilet of our mall to work to pay off the debt of trillions of dollars. He will never be able to leave the toilet for the rest of his life, and even have to eat and sleep in the toilet. Do you understand? Clear. The general manager is already a veteran and is very skilled at this kind of thing. But he was also really surprised. I didn't expect that this young man in front of me not only has a lot of money, but also does things very decisively, cleanly and efficiently, without leaving any tricks up his sleeve. What's even more terrifying is that he seemed to have already calculated the ending and dug a hole for Boss Long that could not be filled. This thought. So scary. Never let anything go wrong in front of him again, otherwise I might be the next one to sleep in the toilet. Fu Erdai didn't know what the general manager was thinking, nor did he need to know. Anyway, buying the shopping mall was just for fun, as he said. The main reason was that the money came from the wind, so there was no loss. The matter came to an end, and Fu Erdai looked at Jinmei, who was standing not far away. This guy is really pitiful. He was doing good things but lost his job. Fu Erdai doesn't believe that good people will be rewarded, but he is also a man of principles. I didn't have the ability before and could only let it go. It's different now. People who can cheat have to be crazy. If no one offends me, I will not offend anyone. If anyone offends me, I will kill him, her. You, come here. Fu Erdai pointed at Jinmei. Did this guy finally remember me? Jinmei was a little surprised and a little expectant, but more of a bewilderment. What do you want me to do? Are you trying to learn the ways of a domineering CEO? Use money to seduce me into bed? Or just use force? No. I can't get through. Absolutely not. Although I thought so in my heart, my feet involuntarily moved towards Fu Erdai. What? What did you call me for? The sound was so soft that perhaps only Jinmei could hear it. What can I do in broad daylight? I just caused you to lose your job, so I have to give you a job back, that's all. Don't think too much about it. What do you mean I shouldn't think too much? Tell me, what was I thinking about? After she finished speaking, Jinmei realized that she was too excited. Because Fu Erdai's face was calm from beginning to end, like a calm lake. Why are you so excited? Are you moved by my sincerity? Do you want to marry me and be my wife? Fu Erdai said jokingly with a smile. I'm trying to impress you, you idiot. Have you ever been sincere? I'll be grateful if I don't make you angry to death. Jinmei was frightened by Fu Erdai's determination to keep his word. A large shopping mall was acquired so easily. 100 billion. It's an astronomical figure. And he bought it all by himself. It's incredible. Is this still a human being? The image of Fu Erdai began to be deified in Jinmei's eyes, which led to her previous excitement. Okay, I won't argue with you anymore. Just tell me what kind of job you want. As long as it's in the mall, I can agree to it. After hearing this, Jinmei did not express her opinion, but the general manager was frightened. Fu Erdai is the boss, he dare not have any other thoughts and can only focus on Jinmei. Not good. Is this little salesperson going to steal my seat? What is your relationship with the boss? Lover? Mistress? I don't understand this either. I just graduated and have little experience. You can do whatever you want. I can do anything. My voice became smaller and smaller. I was really afraid that Fu Erdai would misunderstand me. At the same time, I kind of hope that Fu Erdai misunderstands Fei Feixiang. Jinmei was very happy to see that Fu Erdai still cared about her. But when she thought of Fu Erdai's ability, she became troubled again. This guy is not going to misunderstand what I said again. Let us get the certificate. Chapter 21. Has this guy lost interest in me? I understand. Let's go. Fu Erdai first responded to Jinmei and then gave instructions to the general manager. Take us to meet Manager Wang on the 8th floor. Okay, no problem, please. Under the leadership of the general manager, Fu Erdai left without looking back. Leaving now. Jinmei was shocked by the response given by Fu Erdai. I'll go. Seeing Fu Erdai's indifferent look, Jinmei suddenly had the urge to hit him. She had already given him a very obvious hint just now, but this guy didn't react. Shouldn't he seize such a good opportunity? Have you lost confidence in me? 3 minutes of heat. Impossible. As soon as this thought came to her mind, Jinmei immediately killed it. So, she directly drew a conclusion about Fu Erdai. This guy is a straight man. Still a straight man of steel. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to remain indifferent with such an obvious hint from a beautiful lady like me. If it were someone else, after hearing me say this, wouldn't they all take the opportunity to strike up a conversation and then look for a chance to continue the conversation? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That doesn't make sense. Must. There must be something wrong. Because of Fu Erdai, Jin Meili, whose inner drama became extremely rich, immediately started to imagine. Originally, Fu Erdai was just an insignificant customer, but after so many things happened, and being ignored by Fu Erdai like this, she felt very embarrassed. In order to save her own face, she had to force herself to explain it in her heart. Of course, these words were impossible to say. Similarly, Fu Erdai didn't bother to care what she was thinking. Seeing that she didn't say anything, he followed her and said, "From now on, everything will depend on my expression. Don't talk too much, okay?" After saying this, Jinmeili discovered that he had a bit of the aura of a boss. Okay. Jinmeili could imagine that this guy was going to start something again. He was already sympathizing with Manager Wang. But on second thought, if Manager Wang had not been arrogant, the second generation Fu would not have hurt innocent people. This is probably the cause and effect that Buddhists often talk about. Manager Wang, this should be it. Take a look at the house number. Accompanied by clear and green sounds. The second generation Fu pushed open the door of Manager Wang's office. Swish. Manager Wang glanced over instantly. Who are you? Why are you dressed like this? Which blind security guard actually let a beggar in? Doesn't he want to do this anymore? It's annoying. As Manager Wang spoke, he was about to pick up the phone on the table, ready to call someone to take Fu Erdai away. Manager Wang, it's me. At this time, Jin Meili followed in. Since they were in a superior-subordinate relationship before, habits are hard to change. Jin Meili was still very polite and bent slightly to show respect. Jin Meili. Haven't I fired you? Why are you still in my office? Get out of here now. No. Not what isn't. Oh. I know this beggar is your boyfriend. You are not satisfied with being fired by me, so you called your beggar boyfriend to cause trouble, right? No. Manager Wang, please listen to my explanation. What do you mean it's not an explanation? I think you are just that. You are such lowly people, you have no skills at all, you just know how to make trouble. I've seen a lot of things. You came to the Nevernight Superplaza to make trouble, but I let you in, but you can't leave. You ignorant kids, you are dead. Jin Meili wanted to say something but was stopped by Fu Erdai. Seeing the sinister smile on Fu Erdai's lips, Jin Meili knew that Manager Wang was finished. At this time, Manager Wang had already dialed the internal security number. Immediately call a few people to bring weapons to my office and beat up those two people. Beep. After hanging up the phone, Manager Wang looked grim. I've called someone, you guys just wait for death. But considering that you are still pretty, I can let you go and give you a chance to live as long as you make yourself comfortable in front of your boyfriend in this office. You only have 5 minutes, so you should think it over quickly. Otherwise, I won't wait any longer. Fu Erdai looked at Manager Wang as if he were a monkey being fooled. Jin Meili was so angry that she was shaking and cursing on the spot. You old man, who do you think you are? Even if 10,000 people were to ride on me, I would never let you ride on me. Damn. It turns out you can get angry too. Fu Erdai stared at Jin Meili with great interest. Nonsense. How can I not get angry when they openly humiliate me? Seeing Fu Erdai staring at her, Jin Meili's anger was mostly extinguished. This is so embarrassing. Poor ladylike image of mine. It was ruined by this damn Manager Wang, and in front of him, it's so embarrassing. General Manager, when did you come? Can't you just let me know if there's anything? I'll be there right away. How dare you come in person? It's such a bother. The General Manager is the boss of small floor managers like Manager Wang, so he has no choice but to be humble. If I don't come, the boss will be bullied by you. Look at how arrogant you are, little manager. General Manager Fang, you are joking. I only see the boss once a year. Isn't it too much to ask him to ride with me? Bang. The General Manager was too lazy to talk nonsense and just went straight over and slapped Manager Wang, leaving him stunned. The scene was extremely unexpected. Hurry up and kneel down to kowtow and admit your mistakes to the new boss. New boss. He then remembered that he had just heard from an insider that the boss was going to be changed, but he didn't know who it was. If he knew that he would definitely go to lick his ass, how could he possibly offend him? No. Jin Meili seemed to have told me before that someone was going to buy them all, and I fired her because of it. Now he comes here with the general manager and this young man? Could it be that? How is it possible? No way. With a thud, Manager Wang knelt down in front of Fu Erdai. I'm sorry, boss. I'm blind and I'm guilty. Please forgive me this time because I've worked hard for the mall for many years. Please don't fire me. Fu Erdai simply ignored this old man who was a pervert. Fu Erdai was as cold as ice and treated him as air. I don't feel relieved just by firing you. Miss Jin Meili, how do you want to deal with him? Fu Erdai gave the choice to Jin Meili. When I followed the general manager's gaze and my eyes fell on Fu Erdai. Manager Wang was dumbfounded. Why was the boss dressed like that? This is not the way to play a prank on someone, okay? And this Jin Meili, when did she meet such a rich man? Why does she still work as a salesperson? Is she really sick? These two guys are really sick. If you are sick, then you are sick. Why did you let me run into the muzzle of the gun? It's over. How is this going to end? There is no other way but to. Jin Meili, I beg you, for the sake of how much I took care of you in the past, can you please let me go? I will never dare to do it again, please, I will kowtow to you. Chapter 22 I can accept even if it's not 10 billion. Didn't you just ask Boss Long to sweep the toilet? I think it would be a good idea to send him to sweep the toilets in the mall as well. Manager Wang was stunned when he heard Jin Meili say that. What? Even Boss Long, who was worth hundreds of millions, got caught. A gentleman should help others to achieve their goals, just as you wish. Fu Erdai nodded and agreed. Boss. Jin Meili, please don't. I beg you, please have mercy on me and let me go, as we were once colleagues. Manager Wang said in tears. If you dare to say another word and interfere with the decision of our Miss Jin Meili, I guarantee that your fate will be 10,000 times worse than that of Boss Long. The cold aura released from Fu Erdai was chilling. Manager Wang didn't dare to say the words that were about to come out of his throat, and swallowed them all back into his stomach. Even Boss Long was killed, so what does a mere floor manager like him count for? I can only endure it silently and suffer for the rest of my life. Am I being too cruel? Jin Meili said a little embarrassedly. Why does this chick think of me so much when she talks? Is it true that she was sent by God to be my wife? Looking back, this was how he, the second generation Fu, became successful. Indeed, it's a bit too cruel. Why don't we give him a little sweetness? Didn't this old guy just say that he wanted to knock you unconscious in front of me? It seems that he wants to knock you unconscious so much. We must help him achieve his goal. Jin Meili was so embarrassed that she dared not speak anymore and covered her face with her hands. Fu Erdai turned to the general manager and said, Go. Find a few girls for our manager Wang and have them serve him well. Boss. Is this really okay? The general manager could no longer guess what Fu Erdai meant, but he also didn't think Fu Erdai would be so kind, so he raised the question. Do as I say. Fu Erdai's voice became lower and lower, and only the general manager could hear it. Hearing what Fu Erdai said, Manager Wang nodded quickly and said, Thank you, boss. Actually, you don't have to spend so much money. I will also clean the toilet well. Well. I am relieved. However, sending this girl to you is my reward to you. You can't refuse it. The second generation Fu was really domineering. Even his rewards to others were so unique. Jin Meili felt a little happy when she saw it. This is probably what the saying goes, whatever the person you like does is right, but if you don't love them anymore, even farting can be a reason to break up. Of course the general manager did not dare to go against Fu Erdai's wishes. He immediately walked to the corner, took out his phone, whispered a few words, and then walked back. He became even more respectful to Fu Erdai, and his respect was mixed with a lot of fear. This boss is young, but he is so cruel. He now understood that the second generation of Fu dared to spend 100 billion to buy this superplaza, which was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. There must be a conspiracy, but he had no way of knowing what it was. Fu Erdai had no idea that the general manager had such a strong imagination. If he knew that Fu Erdai bought this supermarket just for fun, he would probably vomit blood. It's over, let's go. Fu Erdai said this casually, and the general manager and Jin Meili followed him as if they were controlled by a remote control. Although they are all following, the meanings are different. As a subordinate, it is only natural for the general manager to follow the boss. Jin Meili was different. She had been fired and was a free person. She followed Fu Erdai because she was attracted by the humorous aura that he exuded. After exiting Manager Wang's office, I saw a group of fat ladies led by security guards into Manager Wang's office in an orderly manner, while Manager Wang was still inside. This group of fat aunties are not ordinary. Each of them is extremely ugly, weighing more than 300 pounds, with fat heads, big ears and big mouths. What are these middle-aged women doing in Manager Wang's office? Zhen Meili asked curiously. Could it be? No way. Fu Erdai smiled without saying anything. He looked evil but not evil, and gave off a very profound feeling. Help! Don't come over here, it's indecent. Puff! Although Zhen Meili was prepared, she was still frightened when she heard Manager Wang's screams. You are so mean. After today, I guess Manager Wang won't be able to get up for a few days. It's okay. It's better for him to die. He should also atone for those beauties he used his position as a manager to seduce. He's such a waste of talent, old man. Don't you know it's hard for poor people like us to find wives? After hearing what Fu Erdai said, Zhen Meili actually felt embarrassed. Although I cannot say that I am greedy for money and wealth, I have once thought about having a Prince Charming. First, have a romantic love affair, and then live a glorious life. But now, after hearing Fu Erdai complain about the unfairness of society, her thoughts were extinguished. Perhaps, being ordinary is also a kind of happiness. You are not a poor guy. Why are you pretending to be an expert? You are shameless. Zhen Meili really wanted to give Fu Erdai a hard blow. This guy casually took out 100 billion to buy a shopping mall. He is already a world-class rich man, but he still pretends to be poor. It's ridiculous. I've never been poor before. Even when I was poor, I was sweeping toilets, okay? I'm too lazy to argue with an ignorant girl like you. After arguing all their way, Fu Erdai and others had already arrived at the elevator entrance, but they met Love at the corner, and they ran into Fang Tingmai, the mother of the richest man. It is hard to meet family members and hard to part with them. Mom. Fu Erdai's call for mom was so complicated, and it contained too much meaning. Son. Didn't mom give you a gold card? Why don't you change into new clothes? Fang Tingmai asked in confusion. Mom. Son. This exchange of words shocked Zhen Meili so much that she stood there in a daze. Fang Tingmai, the richest woman in H City, is really this guy's mother. Although I had heard Fu Erdai mention it inadvertently a long time ago, who would believe it? This is the richest man in H City. Big celebrity. Oh my god. I bought it, but the store's trimmer is tailoring it for me, so I can't wear it yet. Oh. What's so troublesome? What kind of clothes did you buy, my dear son? Nothing, just an ordinary set costing a few million. What? Millions of dollars for a set is called ordinary. Even the richest woman Fang Tingmai was embarrassed by Fu Erdai's actions. She doesn't have many sets of clothes worth millions. Mom, what's wrong? You are the richest person in our H city. You just bought me a set of clothes worth several million. You won't be angry, right? Fu Erdai asked tentatively. No. It's just a few million. It's nothing. I have plenty of money. That's good. I forgot to mention that I bought many sets of clothes that cost millions of dollars each. I even bought all the clothes in the high-end section of the mall. What? It's all covered. That's hundreds of millions. But it's okay. Hundreds of millions is a piece of cake for me, your richest mother. Having said that, spending hundreds of millions on clothes would make even Fang Tingmei's face change slightly and her heart beat faster. While buying clothes, I remembered that I have no place to live now, so I called to reserve a suite and have already prepaid all the fees online using your card. It's about 10 billion. I believe mom won't mind. What? 1 billion. Buy a house. It's not a big problem. I can still handle it. Fang Tingmei's face changed drastically and her heartbeat became faster than ever before. As long as you can bear it, Mom. Before Fu Erdai could finish his words, Fang Tingmei interrupted him excitedly. What? What else did you buy? 100 million the first time, 10 billion the second time, so the third time must be 10 billion. Son. Don't let me be such a jerk. I'm having a heart attack. Mom. Don't get excited. There's no such thing as 10 billion. I just wanted to tell you that I bought you a gift for our first meeting. Don't get angry. Be careful not to get sick from it. Huh. Fang Tingmai let out a long sigh of relief, her tense nerves finally relaxing. It's good that it's not 10 billion. I'm so scared. My dear son is so nice. He still remembers to buy a gift for his mother. So, what gift did my dear son buy for me? Oh my god. This is a big gift for you. Are you ready to receive it? I'm ready. As long as it's not worth 10 billion, I can accept it. I bought the entire mall for 100 billion and gave it to you. Are you surprised or surprised? Puff. I am prepared for 10 billion, but 100 billion will cost me half my life. Fang Tingmai spat out a mouthful of blood, her heart attack recurred, and she fainted on the spot. Chapter 23 Skills, Flying with One Hand. Just as the richest woman Fang Tingmai was sent to the hospital, the reminder tone rang again in Fu Erdai's mind. Ding, since the sign-in gifts are out of stock early, this system will award 50 sign-in points as compensation. After hearing what the system said, Fu Erdai had an idea in his mind and the system homepage opened. Name, Fu Erdai. Age, 23. Gender, male. Occupation, unemployed. Sign in, signed in today. Check-in point, 155. After finding out that the richest man was gone, there were really only 50 more check-in points, and Fu Erdai couldn't help it. Damn it. I was eliminated from this game after playing for only a few hours. I didn't win anything, but they just compensated me with 50 check-in points. That's too unreliable. This system. Fu Erdai no longer wants to complain. I'm too lazy to complain, there have been enough pitfalls anyway. Although the mall returned the money, the other things I bought amounted to more than 1 billion yuan, so I am very satisfied. Delicious. At the entrance of the mall, the richest woman Fang Tingmai left, leaving only Jinmeili and Fu Erdai. The second generation of Fu bought a luxury suite in the city center. It's not that he has nowhere to go, but he is waiting for a bus. Of course it wasn't a taxi, but a multi-million-dollar Ferrari that had just been booked in the mall using Fang Tingmei's gold card. It was supposed to be delivered to my door, why hasn't it arrived yet? It's so freaking urgent. In fact, only half an hour has passed since the time to order the luxury car. Seeing Fu Erdai looking anxious to pee, Jinmeili thought that Fu Erdai wanted to flirt with her but was too embarrassed, so she was anxious, but she was also very happy in her heart. This man looks more and more handsome the more you look at him. He is also quite funny. It shouldn't be boring to be with him, right? I wonder what his home is like. I heard that men's homes are always messy. Wow. Is this guy going to take me to his house to get me beaten up? No. You must not go, you must hold the line. How can a girl just go to a man's house? It's too frivolous. I, Jinmeili, am a girl with principles. I cannot be casual. I would rather laugh on a bicycle than cry in a Mercedes-Benz. 5 minutes later, Fu Erdai was still looking around at both ends of the street. He didn't say a word to Jinmeili, let alone flirt with her. Why isn't this guy flirting with me? Does he like to laugh and joke when there are many people around? Now that there are only two of us, he is shy towards me, a woman. Yes, that must be the case, otherwise why would he be so nervous and not dare to look at me? 10 minutes passed. How long will this guy hold it in for? Will he finally speak to me? He has been waiting here for a long time. He must want to get to know each other better, otherwise he would have left long ago. Why are you so stupid? Even if you have a sharp tongue but a soft heart, you shouldn't be so procrastinating, right? 20 minutes passed. So infuriating. Does he want to talk to me? Even just one word will do. Why are you just standing there looking around? Are you trying to force me to speak first? No. It's impossible. I, Jinmeili, am not the kind of person that can be found everywhere. 30 minutes later. Forget it. No matter what the result is, just speak up first. I don't mean anything else, just say bye. Would it be too inhumane to just say goodbye? It seems so. Then just find an excuse. What's a good excuse? Just say it's too late and I want to go home and sleep. Yes, that's it, nothing wrong with it. At this time, a luxury car worth tens of millions slowly stopped in front of Fu Erdai, and the driver was a beautiful woman. Wearing very little, very little. Although I couldn't see her face clearly under her bangs, I could still see her cheeks and the fair skin underneath, which were very pretty. It was then that I noticed the girl's outfit. She was wearing a cute, sexy, tight t-shirt on her upper body and 3/4 length shorts on her lower body. She looked like a sexy girl. This kind of beauty who brings disaster to the world, not to mention men, even a girl like Jin Meili would blush when seeing her. Beauty. Want a date? Fu Erdai didn't hide anything at all, he was so direct, staring at the beautiful woman in the car and flirting with her. Want to date me? Tell me your phone number and name first. If we're a good match, I can consider it. The beautiful woman in the car smiled sexily and blew a kiss to Fu Erdai. Fu Erdai, the phone number is 1-9537. After hearing Fu Erdai's name, the beautiful woman in the car hurriedly got off, looking very respectful. Wow! It's handsome Fu. I knew we were destined to be together. Please get in the car. Great attitude. Yeah. I like it too. Fu Erdai got in the car very happily. Excuse me, handsome guy, do you like cars? Or me? The naked seduction mode is turned on. Car. When the beautiful girl heard Fu Erdai's answer, she pouted and frowned, obviously a little unhappy. Don't be angry, I didn't finish what I said just now. I like both the car and the people. Come on up. Handsome guy is really wise, I love you. With Fu Erdai's consent, the beauty quickly got into the car. He had no choice. Although he bought a car, he didn't have the money to get a driver's license, so he didn't know how to drive at all. The only way is to ask a beautiful woman to give you a ride, and then find time to learn how to drive and get your driver's license. Hey! Miss Jin, why are you pulling at the corners of your clothes and rubbing your feet on the side of the road? Aren't you afraid that your clothes will get torn? Fu Erdai said to Jin Meili with a grin, and it was obvious that he was joking. This guy still cares about me. Jin Meili was so happy. Who cares? Go have fun with the pretty girl in your car. I won't see you again. Very vinegary. Who cares about you? I'm worried about the floor under your feet. It doesn't matter if you hurt your feet, but don't rub the roadside and crack it. You will have to pay for damaging public property. He continued joking. You're annoying. If you don't leave, I will. Jin Meili sulked and turned around and walked to the side of the road. What kind of person is this? Just know how to make me angry. Looking at the receding figure, Fu Erdai felt a little bit reluctant. Yes, isn't there an unreliable system store in the system? It seems that you can buy a driver's license. Fu Erdai immediately opened the system store and used 100 sign-in points to purchase the photo. Ding, congratulations to their host Fu Erdai for successfully purchasing the all-purpose driver's license. Would you like to use it now? Isn't this just a waste of words? Don't I need to buy a driver's license to see this? Are there any pretty girls? Use it. If you don't, that's a bitch. Ding. Congratulations to their host for obtaining the all-around driver's license. Both the physical object and the technical skills have been issued. Please check them. In addition, purchasing a driver's license can give you a bonus skill flying a plane with one hand. Oh my god. Flying a plane with one hand? Chapter 24, Crashing into someone and being confused plus £1,000. What the hell? Can you give me a skill flying a plane with one hand? I've lived for 23 years, and I've been single for 20 years. I rely on flying a plane with one hand to solve the problem. This trick is innate and natural, okay? Do I need your broken system to give it to me? If I were to give a gift, of course I would just give a luxury helicopter. That would be so cool. The second generation of Fu is too lazy to complain. As Fu Erdai finished his complaints, a large amount of information flooded into his mind. It seemed as if this information was innate, but it was indeed transmitted into his mind at that moment. These are. While Fu Erdai was frantically devouring the information, he was also shocked. The information implanted in Fu Erdai's mind includes not only various driving skills, but also flying skills. In short, as long as it is a means of transportation, no matter if it runs on the ground, flies in the sky, or swims in the sea, Fu Erdai can drive it, and he has become an experienced driver, an upright experienced driver, not the crooked kind. Damn it! The system was wrongly blamed. This skill is amazing. A driver's license worth 1 million is worth it. It's so worth it. The system is awesome. Since this skill is so amazing, Fu Erdai has no right to be dissatisfied. Of course, he has to read the introduction carefully. Skill flying a plane with one hand. The skill will automatically take effect after boarding the plane, and trigger the special effects of handsome and unrestrained, and charming and handsome. Charm value plus 50 points, temptation value plus 50 points, strength plus 1,000 pounds, and the collision value will be increased by 500 pounds. Note, this skill is best used with a plane, otherwise it will be halved. What the hell? The day's value of bumping into someone is plus 500 pounds. Wouldn't this make the beauty's mind go crazy? How cruel. No. This skill must not be used, it's too cruel. Must find a chance to try it. It seems like there is one right in front of me, ready-made. Holding the golden driver's license in his hand, Fu Erdai felt really proud. He finally became a veteran driver, and an all-round veteran driver at that. From now on, not only can I drive with one hand, but I can also drive on the car. It's so damn cool. When picking up the driver's license, the beautiful delivery lady sitting in the driver's seat was so surprised that she stuttered. Oh my god. Handsome, brother, you actually have our Chinese country's universal driver's license, a universal driver's license. There are no more than one finger in the whole country. You are so awesome. Do you still need someone to drive the car tonight? I heard that experienced drivers with universal driver's licenses can drive with one hand, achieving the extremely difficult skill of driving a car. Thank you for the compliment. Knowing that I have a universal driver's license, why don't you give up your seat? Do you have the qualifications to sit in the driver's seat in front of me? Fu Erdai said domineeringly. I didn't know how to drive just now, so I let this beautiful woman sit in the driver's seat and act as my driver. Now that I have a driver's license, I must feel happy to be an experienced driver. It is not decent to let a woman act as a driver in front of a grown man like me. Yes, the handsome guy taught me that. The beauty got out of the car in a hurry and tried to go around the front passenger seat, but just when she touched the handle, Fu Erdai had already driven away in a multi-million luxury car, leaving behind only a few $100 bills and a few words. Beautiful lady, I'm sorry, I have an appointment. If there is a chance, let's not see each other next time. The few $100 I gave you should be used as taxi fare. Go home alone and sulk because you can't get the handsome and charming me. Then go away feeling empty, lonely and cold. Bye. Cool. It's really cool to drive a multi-million luxury car, but what's even cooler is that I rejected a passionate beauty so casually. She must be so angry that she is stamping her feet now, hee sly smile. Just as Fu Erdai thought, this beautiful woman was so angry that her nose was crooked. Damn it. I let such a handsome, rich guy run away like that. It's such a big loss. It's not bad to be able to sleep with him for one night and make tens of thousands of dollars. I'm so angry. Next time, I must not get off the car so easily. I miscalculated. Fu Erdai drove a Ferrari worth tens of millions on the road. With his skills as an experienced driver with a universal driver's license, he didn't need to worry about anything. There are tens of millions of roads, but safety is the first. If you drive in an irregular way, your loved ones will shed tears. This is a cliched driving rule. From a distance, Fu Erdai, who was riding in the luxury car, saw a lonely figure. The back figure over there looks like the end of a broken heart. Miserable. Isn't this guy Jin Meili? Why doesn't she take a taxi home to sleep? Running naked on the street is too late and too dangerous. As a handsome, charming and tall man, I must save lonely beauties. Fu Erdai was driving, slowed down, and approached Jin Meili who was walking on the side of the road. Beauty. Want a date? Hearing someone teasing her, Jin Meili looked over suddenly. She was about to scold him, but when she saw that it was Fu Erdai, her temper subsided a lot. But my mind is full of thoughts. Seeing Fu Erdai again made her feel a tangled mess of emotions. She herself didn't know why, and she didn't dare to admit that she had fallen in love with Fu Erdai. How did this guy find me here? Shouldn't he go on a date with that beautiful girl? Thinking about the fact that Fu Erdai had a date with a beautiful woman, Jin Meili became filled with jealousy, and even the words she said seemed to be brewed from a vinegar jar. No date. Go away. I don't want to see you. Go play with the pretty girl in your car and don't bother me. Hey. Are you angry or jealous? You are so jealous. I don't know how many rich and handsome bosses would like to bow down to me, Jin Meili. You, a playboy, are not qualified. Although the neon lights in the city are bright at night, they can illuminate the darkness but cannot drive away loneliness. Midnight and day are constantly changing. I feel sad watching you wandering alone on the street. I have been repeating this kind of life for 20 years. I know it is very tiring. Why don't you wait for me to drive you home? I really don't mean anything else. I just want to take you home safely. Fu Erdai spoke very seriously and affectionately this time, completely dropping his ostentatious expression. Jin Meili is a good girl. Fu Erdai feels that he should stop teasing her and should stop at the right time because it is too late and all the couples have gone to get a room. He can't let himself down, right? Listening to the serious words and looking at Fu Erdai's serious expression, Jin Meili didn't want to mess around anymore. Because Fu Erdai is right, lonely people have their pride, and it is indeed themselves who are tired. Anyway, Fu Erdai is just sending me home and not doing anything else. I can save the taxi fare and find an excuse to vent my anger. Why not do it? Won't the beautiful lady in your car be unhappy if I let you get in? Jin Meili smiled sadly, not noticing that Fu Erdai was the only one in the car. Don't scare me. There's a beautiful woman in my car? Do you have yin-yang eyes? Did you see a ghost? Fu Erdai pretended to be frightened and looked stupid. At this moment, Jin Meili looked carefully and found that Fu Erdai was the only one in the car. For some reason, she was happy, but she was trying hard not to laugh out loud. Although she felt uncomfortable, she was happy from the bottom of her heart when she saw that the beauty in Fu Erdai's car had disappeared. As for why the beauty was not in the car, she was too lazy to know. It would be better for her to disappear forever and die. Sure enough, a woman in love is more terrifying than the devil. Chapter 25. If soft tactics don't work, use force. On the road, Fu Erdai was driving Jin Meili recklessly on the road. Traveling in luxury cars and accompanied by beautiful women. It's so cool. Jin Meili stared at Fu Erdai the whole time without blinking. This man. How handsome he looks when driving, so handsome. Jin Meili was even more moved by what she saw. She didn't regret it at all. She had been driving on the wrong road for so long for Fu Erdai. Fortunately, she didn't take a taxi home, otherwise she would have regretted it to death. At this time, a Rolls-Royce carrying several beauties passed by. Look, that handsome guy in the Ferrari drives so cool. Wow. Really? He can even drift with one hand. Isn't that so cool? Hey. Handsome guy, want a date? These beauties extended an olive branch to Fu Erdai and directly ignored Jin Meili in Fu Erdai's car. To be honest, Jin Meili is no worse than them, she just dresses more formally and is not as sexy. Someone is here to steal your boyfriend, so you decide what to do. Fu Erdai smiled and threw this romantic package to Jin Meili, just to see if this woman would mind being seduced. When did you become my boyfriend? Jin Meili blushed, a little nervous. You said you were just going to take me home, don't think too much. Don't think that just because a guy is handsome and rich is great. Jin Meili, don't buy into that. I'm looking for someone who is sincere. Really? How much is £1? I'll buy you £1,000. How about that? Puff. Jin Meili was completely speechless. Handsome guy, can you tell me if you want to date? Seeing that Fu Erdai didn't say anything, the beauties in the Rolls-Royce started to flirt with him crazily again. Jin Meili was a little annoyed that she, a living person, was ignored again. What's the point of making an appointment? Didn't you see that he had a girlfriend in the car? Jin Meili replied in a cold and domineering voice. Go. It turns out that handsome guy has a girlfriend. What a shame. So what if he has a girlfriend? Can't you just snatch her away? Look at his girlfriend, she's dressed like a big dumpling, she has no taste at all, how can she compare with us? If you flirt with her again, I guarantee that handsome boy will not be able to resist the temptation. That makes a lot of sense. Sister Fang really deserves to be our big sister. Thank you. As long as we have fun, it doesn't matter if we share men. Anyway, my family has plenty of money and no shortage of men. Damn it. You sluts, how dare you say that I dress like a big brownie? Wait and see how I deal with you. Jin Meili decisively took off her coat, revealing her sexy and charming figure, and then spoke loudly to Fu Erdai. Drive closer to them. I want to teach them a lesson. Fu Erdai did as she was told. She also wanted to see what Jinmei, who was usually gentle and considerate, would look like when she got angry. People are always so curious. Even curiosity kills the cat. As the car approached, Jinmei started to get angry and threw everything she could from her car at the other car, even her own coat and shoes. Damn it! This woman is crazy, so scary. Let's go, we can't afford to offend her, we can't afford to offend her, she must be true love. After being defeated, Rolls-Royce drove away in shame. Miss Jin, can you do it? There are 3 people in the car. Can you fight them alone? Or just let me out? Fu Erdai said with a smile. Actually, this is just the surface, just a joke. With Fu Erdai's current status and wealth, there are plenty of women like him. What he likes is the feeling that Jinmei cares about him. As women, the difference between them is sometimes really big. It has nothing to do with sexiness or money. Shut up. If anyone dares to flirt with you in front of me again, I'll kill her. Oh my god. You're going to eat my food all by yourself. So what? I finally found a male friend who I can talk to. I don't want you to die under the peony flowers. Even as a ghost, you can't be romantic. Fuck. When did you learn to tease me? I already believed that you wanted to be my girlfriend, and I was so happy for nothing. Bar. You're overthinking it. I'm helping you because it's troublesome for me to go back when you need a car. Just consider it as the fare. You're welcome. Fuck. When did I ask for your help? You're ruining my plan. If I chase them away, who's going to knock me over tonight? You. Is your bed not hard enough? I can buy you a pure steel one. Come on, I don't need a bed, I just want to knock you unconscious. To be honest, my lower body strength can reach 1,000 pounds, I guarantee you will feel like you are flying. Great, great. If you want to knock me out, it's not impossible, as long as the conditions are met. What conditions? Fu Erdai was very interested. If you catch me, I'll knock you unconscious. Oh my god. This is nonsense, otherwise why would I go through so much trouble to send you home? I just want to take advantage of the situation. There are so many people who want to knock me out, but until today, no one has succeeded. Your efforts are not enough. Then there's nothing we can do. Fu Erdai paused, as if he was thinking. No way. Has this guy given up? Are my requirements too high? Or was he just sending me home? The 3 classic questions flashed through Jinmei's mind. Impossible. This guy is as thick-skinned as steel. He doesn't seem like the type to give up so easily. No. Let's try it out. What do you mean there's no way? Are you planning to give up on a good girl like me? Let me tell you, I, Jinmei, have many admirers. Her voice became smaller and smaller, and she didn't know why, but she couldn't say anything more. I didn't say I was giving up. On the contrary, soft tactics don't work, so I'll have to use hard tactics. Fu Erdai suddenly became lustful. I think you don't need to go home now, just come with me to the hotel. Fu Erdai didn't wait for Jinmei to react and turned the car towards a luxury hotel. He could see the big sign of the hotel when he looked up. Jinmei was shocked and caught off guard. Is this guy serious? No. I can't be so casual. All the casual women in TV dramas never have a good ending. Mr. Fu. Please stop the car immediately. I want to get off and go home. No. No. I, Fu Erdai, will definitely take you to the hotel, so we can spend some time together as a couple, and then, Fu Erdai's signature sly smile. Get lost. Who wants to spend time alone with you? I want to go home. Stop the car right now, or I'll call the police. It's too late. Even if we call the police, they may not be able to make it in time. Seeing Fu Erdai's lecherous look, Jinmei was really panicked. She had always thought that Fu Erdai just liked to play tricks on people and was not like those playboys Fang Tang. But now, what Fu Erdai performed immediately refreshed Jinmei's 3 views. In just a short while, the car had stopped in front of the gate of Delong Hotel. After the car stopped, Jinmei was as anxious as an ant on hot pan. She jumped out of the car and stayed away from Fu Erdai. Mr. Fu, I can't go to the hotel with you. Please do as you please. I'll take a taxi home. Someone come. Fu Erdai had no intention of letting Jinmei leave. Instead, he looked at Junmei with a burning gaze. "Hello, Mr. Fu. I am the manager of the hotel. You have booked a high-end special service in our hotel. I am here to be at your disposal. Is there anything I can help you with?" An old man seemed to have been waiting for Fu Erdai for a long time. "Go. Get a few people to tie up that lady carefully, and then send her to the suite I have reserved." Fu Erdai pointed at Junmei and said. After thinking about it, Fu Erdai made some additions. "Remember, not a single hair can be hurt, otherwise I will tear down your hotel." Okay, I'll ask someone to do it right away." After saying this, the manager called a few security guards. Several security guards were also martial artists. They quickly caught up with Junmei and subdued her, then sent her into their hotel. Chapter 26 Specially brewed milk tea, do you want some? Accompanied by Junmei's pig-slaughtering screams, Fu Erdai arrived at the previously booked private room with difficulty. "Stop yelling. I'm just treating you to a midnight snack. Do you have to be as horrified as if you were being slaughtered?" In the private room, the mellow red wine meets the charming candlelight, creating a strange spark that makes people unable to help but be intoxicated. Everything in this private room is like you and me, with a halo of light and endless lingering. But it doesn't matter. All this romance seemed unable to calm Junmei's frightened heart. Fu Erdai finally realized that this joke might have been too big. After hearing what Fu Erdai said, Junmei finally calmed down and stopped shouting for help. Looking at the unique decoration of the private room of the light dinner, Junmei was a little confused. This guy just wanted to treat me to a midnight snack, but he made such a fuss. Meyer. I'm scared to death. Junmei's face was filled with fear and she was still in shock. Seeing that Junmei had calmed down, Fu Erdai signaled the security guard and the manager to leave. The manager and the security guard were also very sensible. They left quietly like ghosts, without making any sound, not even when closing the door of the private room. If you want to leave now, just go. I won't force you." Fu Erdai's voice was gentle as water, not at all like the pervert who just tried to force someone into the room and knocked them unconscious. He originally wanted to give Junmei a surprise, but it turned out to be of no use to this woman who was very thick-skinned when it came to relationships, so Fu Erdai certainly didn't force her to stay. As the saying goes, a forced melon is not sweet. He, the second generation of Fu, would not even bother to be that kind of person. Just go, who cares? Junmei had no intention of staying and walked straight to the door of the private room. The friction between the floor and bare feet, the rude sound of the door opening, and the heavy sound of the door closing formed an angry trio. Fu Erdai did not stop it, nor did he ask anyone to stop it. He believed, and always believed. Bang! The door of the private room was opened again, and the heavy door seemed to be making a sound of protest. "I'm starving. You've tricked me again. Eat something delicious. You'll be in big trouble." Junmei was no longer afraid this time, nor was she worried about being drugged. Instead, she casually sat in her seat and enjoyed the food. Although they had only known each other for one day, she still believed in Fu Erdai, otherwise she would not have come back. I was particularly careful and pretended to leave for a while to see Fu Erdai's reaction. This guy didn't react, which proved his guess. If Fu Erdai really wanted to force her, he would not have used great force to capture her and let her leave so easily. There are too many suspicious points here. It was because I didn't think about it carefully just now that I was tricked by Fu Erdai again. Now that I think about it, I was a bit stupid. If a person really wanted to knock himself out, how could he tie himself up in public? Isn't this just trying to hide something and waiting to be caught by the police? Although she didn't know Fu Erdai very well, she knew very well that Fu Erdai was not a brainless person. On the contrary, he was very smart. Just think about it, how could such a shrewd person put himself in danger? If he really wanted to confuse himself, there were 1,000 ways to do it silently, and he would never make such a brainless mistake. Taking all factors into consideration, Junmei dared to come back and enjoy the delicious food with hearty mouthfuls. Fu Erdai didn't ask, just smiled and said nothing. The two of them said everything without saying a word. Junmei enjoyed the meal very much. Because it makes me feel at ease, worry-free, but also a little bit thrilling. The second generation of Fu was also the same. He had never enjoyed such romance before. That feeling could not be expressed in words. An hour later, Junmei stretched lazily and said, "I'm so full. Thank you. I've never eaten anything so delicious. Thank you is a must, you spent nearly 100,000 yuan on me. What the hell? You didn't eat anything, but you ate more than me, right? How dare you say that? I paid for it, so what if you eat more? How about we split the bill, and you give me half of the bill, and I won't complain." After Fu Erdai finished speaking, he actually stretched out his hand and asked Junmei for money. "Come on. You are so stingy, and you still want to knock me out. I won't even give you my butt." After saying that, Junmei gave Fu Erdai a naughty face. "Okay. We've finished our meal, we've made enough noise, and I've settled the bill. Now I'm going home to sleep. It's too late, so I'll call the hotel to take you home. It's safe, don't worry. Let's go, I'll take you to the hotel entrance to take the car." A quarter of an hour later, the two arrived at the side of the road in front of the hotel. Junmei looked a little reluctant to leave, but she didn't dare to show it. She could only pretend to be indifferent and started chatting with him. "Aren't you going home on my way?" Junmei had always thought that Fu Erdai was just giving her a ride on the way, otherwise it wouldn't be such a coincidence. "If you knock me out, the road will be smooth no matter where I go. Now it seems that if your wish is not fulfilled, it will definitely not be smooth. Besides, I have already asked someone to take you back, and there is no need to pay for the car, so why are you still worried? Don't worry, with your personality that blooms only once every 60 years, I have reason to believe that no one else has the ability to knock you out except me." Bar. A dog can't spit out ivory. Can't you just speak properly? If you make me happy, maybe I'll make you confused. That's not the real me, and I'm sure you won't like it. Oh. For the first time, Junmei discovered that this guy was actually a loyal man. "Where is your home? Can you tell me?" Junmei asked weakly. She was really afraid that Fu Erdai would know that she was that kind of dissolute woman. "Actually, I'm already home, in the Delong Garden in the city center. The Delong Hotel is owned exclusively by the Delong Garden. If you're not a Delong Garden resident or someone you know, you can't get in." Oh. Just one word, "oh," could not express so much of Junmei's joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness. The most obvious is disappointment. It would be great if his car went to my house, so I could continue to take his car home. If. Junmei also knows that this world is very realistic and there are no IFS. At this time, the manager suddenly appeared again, and Junmei was startled again. She thought that the old guy was going to call the security guard to catch her again. This time the manager didn't say much. He just handed a well-packaged box to Fu Erdai and left. After Fu Erdai took the box, he passed it to Junmei without even opening it. "There's a coat and a pair of shoes in here, the same ones you lost when you hit someone in the car for me." Junmei looked at Fu Erdai with emotion and took the box. "What a caring man. You live in Delong Garden, you must be very luxurious, right? Can you invite me to your house for a cup of tea and broaden my horizons?" "I'm sorry, I don't have any tea at home. If you want to drink my special brewed milk tea, I won't hesitate." Bar. Who cares? Since Fu Erdai said so, Junmei stopped insisting and just smiled it off. This smile contains so much sadness. Fu Erdai knew very well that Junmei was thinking, but he just didn't want to hurt such a good girl, so he could only laugh it off. "After sending you 1,000 miles, we must finally say goodbye. I won't send you off. Shouldn't I be the one to say this? Aren't you being too perfunctory?" Junmei had the urge to beat up Fu Erdai again. No matter what the situation was, this guy could always make people laugh. It's a joke. Chapter 27, Naughty. Let you be naughty. Beat you into a melon skin. Watching Junmei leave, although Fu Erdai was reluctant, it did not affect his mood. It's just a temporary separation, not a life and death separation, that's why Fu Erdai would be sad or something, on the contrary. It's been a while since I last bumped into a silly girl, and I can't hold it back any longer. I have nothing to do tonight, and it's not time to sign in yet, so of course I need to relax appropriately. With sexual interest, there is motivation, and with motivation, of course there is direction. Having figured out his direction, Fu Erdai suddenly turned around and prepared to book a presidential suite at the hotel and call a few young ladies. Although the second generation of Fu bought a house, the house will be his home in the future. Home is a warm haven, and of course we can't let any random people come in and out. Even a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows, let alone the energetic and capable Fu Erdai. Besides, something as noble as having sex would definitely be more romantic in a hotel. Aren't these days as happy and carefree as those of gods? Hey hey! Suddenly, when Fu Erdai turned around, he bumped into a blind guy. This guy is much stronger than Fu Erdai. He is like the legendary human mountain, with the strength to move mountains and the power to overwhelm the world. But Fu Erdai had been blessed with a system, and his strength was far beyond that of ordinary people, so even though this guy was strong, he still fell in front of Fu Erdai. No matter who is right or wrong, if you bump into someone, it is polite to say sorry. The key point is that the other party has 2 black friends who are eyeing him covetously, which is really annoying. Recently, there has been a rumor circulating on the internet that when Hege smiles, life or death is unpredictable, which really makes Fu Erdai a little nervous. Dude! I'm sorry. Are you okay? While speaking, Fu Erdai kindly stretched out his right hand, trying to help this guy. It turned out that this guy not only didn't appreciate it, but he jumped up and started cursing like a shrew. Who the hell are you? Do you want to die? How dare you bump into me? Do you know I have someone to protect me? If you don't have 1,000 yuan, forget it. Damn it. After all this time, it turns out to be a scammer? Damn it. Brother. I'm really sorry. I was a little drunk today, so I accidentally had a little friction with you. I apologize to you. When Fu Erdai was talking about being drunk, of course he didn't mean being drunk from drinking alcohol, but being drunk on Jinmei, and then there was a series of men's physiological reactions. That's what he meant. Of course, Fu Erdai was too lazy to explain to this drunkard. I just want to get over it quickly so I can live happily. Apologies are useless. Hurry up and give me the money, or I'll call my brothers to beat you to death. You called your brother. Fu Erdai was a little confused. Why? I have many brothers. Is that not okay? Show off. Aren't those 2 black guys behind you your friends? The scammer looked back and realized he didn't recognize the man. What black brother? I don't know him. If you don't pay me, I'll call my brothers to beat you up so badly that your mother won't recognize you. Damn it. Those 2 black guys are not your brothers, yet you still dare to act so arrogantly. Go to hell. I have tolerated you for a long time. Fu Erdai suddenly exploded, slapped the scammer to the ground, and then started punching and kicking him. While beating, Fu Erdai was also cursing. You were so arrogant. You ran too fast and bumped into me. I don't blame you. I just turned around and you fell. You want to blackmail me? Keep going crazy or I'll beat you to death, you son of a bitch. After the beating, the scammer was covered in bruises and a bloody head. He lay on the ground in agony, looking so pitiful. After being beaten by Fu Erdai, he dared not make a sound and curled up on the ground, completely losing his temper. In fact, it was just a minor injury. Even if he didn't go to the hospital, he wouldn't die. Cool. Fu Erdai was really happy. He used to be poor and was always beaten by others. He dared not say a word. Today he finally got a chance to let out a sigh of relief and felt relaxed all over. Do you want to call someone now, or settle it privately? Domineering. Absolutely domineering, it was me who took the initiative and became the winner. Call someone. The scammer was so frightened that he couldn't speak clearly. Misfortunes sent by heaven are pitiful, but those brought upon oneself are unforgivable. This is what people like this are like. When you can talk nicely, you have to act pretentiously. Only when you are beaten and lose your temper, do you turn around and make people feel pity for you. There is no such good thing in the world. Anyway, the situation has become strained, so Fu Erdai is not afraid. The worst that can happen is that he has to pay compensation. There is no conflict that cannot be solved with money. If there is, it is because there is not enough money. If you want to call someone, hurry up. You're wasting my time. After saying that, Fu Erdai kicked the scammer again, causing him to scream in pain. It hurts so much. Without 2,000 yuan, it won't work. This was the entrance to the hotel, and there were already a lot of people here. With their noise, in a moment the place was filled with people, talking at once and pointing fingers. Who is this person? How can he beat someone so violently? You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. We don't know the details, so it's better to stay out of other people's business. Be careful not to get into trouble. How about calling the police? Why call the police? Don't you think it's better to watch a show? It's not us who are being beaten anyway, so it's better to have less trouble than more. There's still a show to watch. Yeah. That makes sense. A very realistic social atmosphere. Call someone. Why don't you call? Fu Erdai pointed at the scammer lying on the ground and urged him. Handsome. You're right. I was wrong first, but you hit me anyway. I'm seriously injured. Why don't you just pay me 1,000 yuan for my medical expenses? Let's not make a big deal out of it. It won't be good for anyone. Don't you think so? The true colors of this guy were finally revealed, and Fu Erdai was very happy that he could finally teach this guy a lesson openly. Before, I was really afraid of hitting the wrong good person or someone who was drunk. Now it seems that this guy is just a scoundrel who is trying to scam people. He is not drunk at all and is very sober. Fu Erdai had every reason to suspect that this guy was deliberately speaking rudely to make him angry and hit him, and then took the opportunity to ask for money. You disgust me, and you still want to ask for money from me. It's already very good that I don't burn paper money for you. Hee. Fu Erdai suddenly had an idea. Okay, but your injuries are really serious. I'm afraid you've already been sick to the bone marrow before you get to the hospital, and you'll die. Don't disbelieve me, I'm the legendary martial arts master, the peerless divine doctor who came to the city. Don't look at my young age, I'm actually 100 years old, with 100 years of internal strength. You've been beaten by me and you've already suffered internal injuries. Internal injuries are very serious. Ordinary doctors can't cure them. Even if they cure them blindly, they will still be sick and can die at any time. But don't worry, heart disease needs heart medicine, and the person who tied the bell must untie it. I'm happy now, I will help you cure it immediately, and then give you a large sum of resettlement money. No, bar. Good luck, it's mental damage compensation, permanent maintenance fees, plus pregnancy maintenance fees. After listening to Fu Erdai's long chatter, the scammer had a lot of S on his head, and even his expression looked like a big